Going live. Oh, it says we're
I
live.
hate these fucking viewers.
Shut up! It says we're live. No.
Oh, fuck.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Discovering Skibidi Toilet.
Oh no, your fears were unfounded. I can see the Google Doc right in front of my eyes.
I know. I was so worried it wouldn't show up because of the preview.
He was crying. He was like asking ChatGPT to make it work.
I can't.
So
I literally
scared.
can't even get in ChatGPT. My email's banned for some reason. They're like, "This is
You
not a
misused
good
it.
email. Don't use this." Theocles says we're back.
Corrupted
Welcome,
email.
welcome everybody. Quaker, T-Rex, Teeth, Theocles. I think I saw Crowcat earlier. Guare, of course. Yeah, I saw Bigfoot. We're here back with WriterBot. Fuck, what's the full name?
WriterBotFestFestivalCon2023.
No,
I
no,
had to think about the fucking year.
celebration. It's WriterBotFestFestivalCelebrationCon2023. HU4D is here. I know.
When I did it, the part I visibly thought about was the year.
The year, yeah. It's because time moves so fast, you forget about it.
It does for me, because I'm not going to say this because this is like too close to personal, honey, for my liking, but I'm happy now. Happy things have happened to Town Honey.
Welcome, HU. I recognize you from Aether. Hello. Sen Pao, welcome. So
Shit, I'm going to be judged.
Something we will be judged. So something we're going to do this year, because we felt really bad that not everyone got their articles read, and we want to help everyone. So what we're doing, and there's a cutoff. We're not taking any more now, so that this is feasible. But we're going to try and do all of them today.
Rebecca actually got the last one in 20 minutes ago.
and I know, Sobek asked about it, and I was like, are you kidding me? And then if we don't finish any remaining ones, we will do a follow-up stream next week at the same time?
Yeah, sure.
Same time. Well, hold on.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
I might not be able to do same time next week. I might have to do earlier or something.
He's a liar.
Could you do earlier on Sunday?
I could probably do earlier on Sunday, yeah.
Okay, because I think that's my niece's birthday, so I don't want to commit to, like, the same time. Okay, Tinks, welcome,
Lack
welcome.
of devotion, you see.
Yeah. I am so ready for this. Shall we begin, or do we have anything?
It's like a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. We're the framing device for these stories. These from the twisted minds
can you
of the Discovering SCP viewers.
Can you open this first Google link before I do, just to make sure I don't get like my email doxed again?
Well, sure. I've opened it.
Someone gave us a heart. Thank you. Crowcat
so
says,
much.
"I am on a boat." Isn't that
Really?
a fucking Lonely Island song?
Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
I'm watching the Discovering SCP live stream on my private yacht.
Yeah, it's playing that. You know that fancy rich people music? It's like doo 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 doo
Gang gang.
doo.
Gang gang. Gang gang.
Tan sat in a big chair wearing a smoking jacket. Family boat. Oh my god, Crowcat rich.
Family Guy?
What the fuck? Crowcat's been rich this whole
There's
time.
so many hearts. Gang gang.
Thank you for the. Why you keep saying gang gang?
Sparkle on.
Shut the fuck up. I hate you so much. Is it too late to get a new co-host?
Gang gang. Sorry, that's the last one.
I don't believe you. I don't
love
believe
us. There's so many hundreds and hearts.
Anytime you've told me, I'm sorry, it's the last one, it has never been the last one.
I promise. This time is different.
This time. Can I have the boat, please? I like boats. I'm not rich.
I'm seizing control of the boat right now with my mind.
It's probably. What if it's like a canoe and it tips over and it's all our fault?
Like canoe in the middle of a lake.
I've done that every fucking time I've ever been in a canoe. It tips over and it's always tragic. I never bring my phone if I go canoeing. I'm out of the loop. What is the stream? So HU4D, this is WriterBotCon Festival Celebration. Fuck, whatever.
It's the WriterFestCon festival.
People send in drafts and we critique them. And it's just a chance for me and Tan to give back and like read articles and like try and help people with getting out their stuff. But we are stalling for time. Did you open the first one? Is it a safe link?
I did.
Okay, I'm gonna open
it.
it.
Yeah, if you ignore the porn, it's pretty safe.
The porn? Well, what the fuck? It opened in like a little I'm trying to... SCP book.
Scared.
Okay. Who's this one from?
This is from... Who's it from?
Are you fucking kidding me? You didn't even put dashes next to the links? As you took them in?
Of course I did.
This guy is so lazy. They call him Disorganized Tony.
You people at home know which one you wrote.
Are you fucking serious? Oh my god. Okay.
It's an intentional choice. Sure. So you see, is not.
You know what? Maybe it is better to do it anonymously though, because then if the crit's like negative, no one has to feel like embarrassed or something. But we're gonna,
they're calling me cringe.
But this is gonna be, we're gonna make jokes, but when it comes to the crit, we want to take it seriously. We're gonna try and be as constructive as possible, give our opinions. So let's jump right into it. Tan, do you want to start, or shall I start reading?
Absolutely, I'll begin. Make them stop calling me cringe while I'm doing this.
Cringe.
I was going to say the thing I said I'd stop saying, but I'm more mature than that.
Cringe boy says what?
Gang. Item number SCP-XXXX. Object class Sapphire. Special containment procedures. The SCP is to be stored in a safe class containment locker located in Site 99.
This is already more word efficient than your fucking nutritional chart.
Fuck you. Description. Very hostile action so far.
We hate each other. The channel's over.
It's like itching scratchy.
Itching scratch. I don't even know who those are. Oh wait, from Simpsons. Yeah.
I'm so much fucking Simpsons head this week.
I know, you've really been on it.
I've not watched a single episode.
Someone was like describing a character in Good Trouble or something, and you were like, I was thinking of the Simpsons guy, and I was like, really, were you?
Well, the person who was describing was also thinking of the Simpsons guy, so in fairness.
Yeah, you're all just Simpsons heads.
The SCP is a pink notebook consisting of 80 pages. The cover of the SCP has a stylized illustration of a pair of bright red lips. Lab analysis has shown the composition of the SCP is indistinguishable from a non-anomalous notebook. When the SCP is opened by a human subject, written text will manifest on the page it is open to. The text is always a short sentence or paragraph containing information related to a relevant figure.
Examples of relevant figures include family members, close friends, and co-workers.
In the subject's life. This information is often of a personal or private nature. It's unknown how the SCP acquires the information it displays or how it chooses its targets. Any text generated by the SCP demanifests upon being closed.
So it's like a snitch for your loved one. It's like an anomalous diary of your loved one's bullshit. That's so fucked up.
It's the love notes.
And you know it's double messed up because there's lips on the front, so it's both kissing and
so you
telling.
Can kiss the cover.
No, it's kissing and telling, which you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, no.
Gossip Girl, Quaker says? Maybe.
My go-to. Oh, you can kiss the book.
I think my favorite part of this is I realized when I highlight over the redacted, I can see the numbers. So I know what it is. Yeah, hover over the redacted.
Hold on. Why? What's the point?
Well, I think they just formatted it that way for the Google. I'm sure they'll like actually redact it. But
why redact it though? Why bother?
But now I know it's 2007.
Discovery on September 4th, 2000. Well, we know there's no way to know what year it was. A civilian by the name Henry Stone, that should probably be by the name of Henry Stone, was arrested in Houston, Texas, for assault and battery of another Houston resident. During police questioning, Mr. Stone told interrogators his wife had been having an affair with the victim for the past month. When asked where he got this information from, Mr. Stone told interrogators, "Magic Notebook told me, and I'm not crazy, you can see for yourselves." Foundation agents embedded, that should be embedded with an E there, yes. Probably. I was going to leave a note, but that's kind of pointless, it's just a letter E. Yeah. Embedded in the Houston Police Department investigated the home of Mr. Stone, where they acquired the SCP and confirmed it possessed anomalous properties. Receipts found in Mr. Stone's home indicates the SCP was purchased from a local Walmart. Investigations of the origin of the SCP is ongoing.
Wait, why is Walmart not redacted but 2007?
GOI 2743 Walmart.
Nice. No, that's not anything wrong. It's just I'm used to the place always being redacted because it's like, don't go there. Would you go to a local Walmart?
No, I don't have Walmart here.
You don't have Walmart in England?
No, we have Asda.
What the fuck is Asda?
Walmart.
Okay, I already am done with the British continent.
What do you mean? I'm telling the truth. I'm speaking my truth.
I'm done with your island. Continue.
Hold on. Testing log. That's me when I start monitoring the properties of trees.
Still wouldn't.
To better understand the SCP's abilities, Selfie Foundation personnel were instructed to open the SCP and record the information that was written. Experiment 1. Subject, Junior Researcher Thomas. Result, Junior Researcher Arena thinks you have a nice ass. Notes, despite the unprofessionalism, I can't say I'm not flattered. Thomas.
I'm surprised the book uses like their formal title. Like I would have thought it would have just been their name or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So far,
Well,
though,
maybe
this
that's
book
what
is...
it's like Batman. That's what Rita calls herself in her head.
The sentence
Junior
should
research
have...
reader.
The quote should have a punctuation at the end unresolved, but so far, epic book.
You're reviewing like the anomaly.
Yeah, I
like
think it's epic.
universe.
I want to know who
He's like, you're
thinks
the
I have a nice
scientist,
ass.
like investigators, like an epic book.
Tell me who has a nice ass. Tell me who thinks that. That's what I want to know. And this SCP will get me there.
Experiment 2. Subject D14589. Results. Sorry, I have nothing to tell you. Come again.
Heart.
Sparkle on.
Sparkle on.
Notes, it appears the
soldiers.
SCP cannot display information to subjects who lack any significant relationship.
God, fuck! If I was a D class and I read that, I would kill myself immediately. That's rough. God.
Experiment 3. Subject Security Officer Jordan. Result. Security Officer Patrick has been leaking intel to Marshal Carter and Dard for cash. Sparkle on.
Sparkle on.
Notes. Security Officer Patrick was detained and questioned. During interrogation, he admitted to selling information to Marshal Carter and Dark regarding Site-99 security details and details on contained SCPs. I'll probably get rid of one of those details or like exchange it for another word.
You know what the terrifying thing about the Foundation is?
What?
It's like, if you get caught doing that, like in a normal job, you'd be like fired, or maybe you'd be like suspended or something. The Foundation, they're probably just like firing squad, right?
It's like the Hell Vortex.
Yeah,
Needs
like,
a new subject.
It's like, well, you fucked us over to a GOI, and then like they just fire rifles at you.
It's like you're being reassigned to the murder man.
You're gonna be in the D class department now.
You're the D class's D class. Okay, well, next we got a please input level 4 credentials to view the rest of this document. Credentials received. Loading. Addendum. On September 25th, 2007, Site-99 Director Eugene submitted a proposal to the O5 Council outlining a new internal surveillance protocol, codenamed Project Spiderweb.
Real quick, just a minor correction note. Unless you wanted to spell it that way uniquely, Eugene is like E-U-G-E-N-E. Typically.
You know what, when I was working in the mines, I had to like tell the foreman we were making the wrong kind of tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I sent him?
What?
A minor correction note.
Nice.
By implementing Project Spiderweb, site directors would use the SCP to gain knowledge on Foundation personnel in order to identify personnel engaging in behaviors that violate Foundation regulations. The SCP would change ownership between site directors on regular intervals. Information recovered through the SCP would be recorded and stored on a confidential server. Whether or not the Project Spiderweb should be implemented was debated among members of the O5 Council, Site Directors Council, and Ethics Committee. On September 27th, 2007, Project Spiderweb was authorized.
So why wasn't 2007 redacted down here, but it was up there?
You got enough insight.
Yeah, I could tell. So
you have eyes on the inside now.
I let me say this. I actually, I'm being serious about crit. I like this idea. I think you have a good base. I think it's funny. It's not your. Come on. Hey.
Just the way you were saying it was like you were talking to me.
All right, ignore him. He doesn't matter, Tanhoney. He's just a guy. So I think you have a good base here. The idea is funny. It's charming. It's got a little bit of intrigue to it with the whole like, oh, maybe we can use this.
Senpau's right. We have credentials. We got level 4 credentials at the end. That's why we can see the date.
Good call, Senpau. One thing I would suggest, just personally, is I think it's missing just a little bit of meat. And I think maybe what you could do is spin this into an addendum, where it's like we slowly have like people getting like more and more distrustful of each other. Perhaps like MTF teams are breaking down and not working together, or like containment procedures are going wrong because people are distrustful and want to do everything themselves. Or it would even be great if you like have them sort of spiral a bit and like things start to go in chaos and they're like Project Spiderweb doesn't work out because it's causing more problems than it solves. Or even better, if they go through all this and then they find out in a further addendum that it just makes up bullshit, like it's just rumors, like none of it's real info. That would be a great comedy spin, I think.
Yeah, what I want to say is I feel like I've seen very similar cliffhangers before. I'm guilty of this as well, where it's like the SE objects, oh, here's a proposal to use it in a morally dark way. Approval, project approved, we're going to roll it out soon. And I feel like I've seen that quite a few times, so I feel like we need a new spin on it here. And what I'll be saying, I think good work for that.
One other thing I would say too is up here.
You need to put your glasses on avocado milk.
What?
It's blurry in the chat saying it's blurry for everyone.
Is it blurry for everyone or just... Oh, fuck! Is it blurry?
I think Zebal can see it.
Oh, thank God. I was so nervous.
I
was like, I fucked with the bitrate. I tried to do everything right. One other thing.
It's showing the horror.
And I'm not an SP head, so Tan, you tell me. But I feel like you're otherwise doing a decent job at, like, keeping it, what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's, like, professional writing. What do you guys call it? Clinical tone. But I feel like this being inserted in the middle of, like, the clinical discovery is a little weird. Like, the way the quotes aren't even, like, blocked out and they're just in the sentence. I would, like, slightly alter how that's formatted.
Mm-hmm. But you could get away with that, but it's still going to come off as a bit weird.
Yeah. But that, the minor spelling stuff, and then I would spin it a little bit deeper and go further with this idea, because I think you have potential for something. I think you could spin it to be serious and dark if you really went into it, although you might have to change some of these experiments. Or you could, get a bigger payoff with the comedy aspect.
Hey, Darnell, I don't know, have you been keeping up with the news today?
No, what?
Have you heard about, like, when they've been digging out in South America, they found those caves with, like, the English words written in them?
What's the punchline to the joke you're setting up?
Well, they went down to the caves and they found, like, when they were digging through, they found these walls with just, like, English words, like modern English words written on them in perfect spelling. Okay. It was minor spelling stuff. The amount of fucking setup.
See, everyone else would think that's a bad joke, but the reason our friendship works is because I thought that was hilarious. That's really good. Did you come up with that yourself?
I did. It took me like the last 30 seconds.
I'm so proud of you.
Of constant full thought. Trying to figure out a way to make that fucking work.
It was blurry for me when it started, but cleared up after about a minute, says Quaker. That's good.
Good, you've started to adjust.
So before we move on to the next one, let me check comments, see if anyone said anything else.
Everyone's left.
Crocat loves your log joke. Oh no, they're all gone. Darnell, do not give him credit for the minor joke. Came up with the idea, but I had no idea where to take it. Oh, is this yours, Daniel? I think you have potential, Daniel. I don't think you should be too down on yourself. Yeah, but like that, we're just trying to give constructive credit. I think you have something here, and I enjoyed it. So
yeah,
if I were to rate it as it stands, like if you had just posted this to the Wiki right now, I would have given it like a 5 out of 10, which is still higher than the Bright proposal, and that's got thousands of upvotes. So chin up, King.
Well, you didn't understand the Bright proposal, so
didn't I? Didn't I?
Why
would you?
Your monitor shut off when you went on the web page.
That's like my MK Ultra kill phrase when people say that. But yeah, no,
when you went on the page, your monitor suddenly shattered. You couldn't see anything.
One thing I'd advise you to, if you're new to writing, Daniel, is like a lot of times, if making something, even if you're like a quote unquote experienced good writer, requires going back and like editing your draft, getting it critted, doing another draft. Some people who've really been doing it a while or are really confident, like maybe do it all in one. Like I know Tanhoney, some of his shorter ones, I think he cranks out in like one night. But like even Tanhoney on his bigger articles gets crit, goes back and doesn't do the draft, gets crit, go back and do a new draft. So you don't, just because there are errors or things you can do better is not like you're a bad writer. One, you learn by doing and failing, but two, as you edit and work on something, it's always going to improve. Just don't get caught in the trap of perpetually never releasing it. But like you're fine. You have a great kernel here, and I think if you give it some love and care and grow it, it can become something spectacular. Because honestly, nothing worth doing is easy. Sometimes you got to put the work in. But I think you should stick with this idea. Shall we move to the next one?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, for you.
So this one's from Crowcat. Crowcat submitted too. Greedy.
Yeah.
Greedy fucking guts over here.
Patches. Greedy cats. Which one is it we're looking at here, Crowcats? Guy. Oh, it's in Pipeman.
Alright, how do I open this? There's like 4 open things.
You click on the Pipeman.
The what?
The word Pipeman.
Sorry, I don't really
understand.
understand.
A messy sandbox, Crocat.
I don't really understand how sandboxes work. It was very confusing.
I have to.
I love how there's only an upvote option. That's kind of
Be in your room, Crocat.
Can I upvote this? Oh, damn. Guari said I can submit too. Why did you ask Guari and not me and Tan, the people running this? Guari knows nothing about what this stream is.
Is Guari here?
Yeah, he is, but Tan and I are running the stream. We announced it, we organized it. Guari had literally no process in this. Don't know why you asked him. You're not in trouble. You can submit multiple, but I don't know why. I don't know why you were like, oh, of course Guari would know. That's so funny. All right. Why is this toolbox screw hand still on there? That's a good question. Isn't that from last year? Did Crocat never post this?
Crocat.
Damn, Crocat, you like this. Sobek, oh my god, can we get Sobek in our call? Can we have him on?
What? Why did Sobek get such an honor?
Because I love him. And he's also a really good writer. Have you read Downpour?
Should we just get him in here? I mean, Sobek, can I call you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's do a fucking call in.
Yeah, we should just have guests on. Why not? I love Sobek. I just want him in.
Hold on.
I'm waiting until he can respond because it would probably be terrifying if I just call him and he doesn't know.
You say something in the fucking chat. It's like ding 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 ding. Well, let's begin reading anyway.
Wait, I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. We'll add him next time, maybe after he answers.
Item number. SCP. Oh, sorry. Actually, you do. You start because I read the last one.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Item number SCP-XXXX. Object class USALID. Special containment procedures. The SCP. What? Why would you do it when I'm in the middle of reading?
I'm gonna do that. Hi, Sobek. Welcome to the show.
Why did you do that to me? Tanoni.
Sobek, what are your thoughts on the first 2 words of this article?
I can't see the first 2 words of the article. Where are they?
What are you talking about? They're in the stream.
Oh, hold on. My stream was like a couple seconds behind.
Sobek, you're very quiet.
You scared?
I scared him. I'm sorry, Sobek. I didn't mean to.
We snatched him out of the voice show. You're like fucking alien abducted.
Sobek, are you too tired? We can.
No. My microphone's terrible.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I'm gonna keep reading then. Special containment procedures. The SCP is confined within the basement pipe network of... Motion sensors have been installed at certain parts of the network in order to prevent the anomaly's egress from the building. I love the word egress. It's actually fire for a clinical tone. If at any point personnel do not hear the SCP shout an I assume expletive?
Yeah.
So EXPLETIVE. Expulsive. Let me spell that for Crocat in the chat. Expletive. There you go. When it reaches a dead end, an alarm is to be sounded for potential containment breach. Description. SCP is a presumably former human whose anatomy has been heavily warped. Specifically, its body has been elongated on the vertical axis to an estimated length of around 20 meters. Its structure additionally acts as a non-Newtonian fluid, with changes to its morphology a frequent occurrence. Due to its severe disfigurement, it is unable to walk and experiences strong difficulty crawling. The SCP's primary form of locomotion is sliding through hollow cylindrical objects, most commonly pipes. The SCP is anomalously adept at this form of traversal, with current measurements placing its maximum speed... Okay, hold on. It's been heavily warped. It's been elongated.
It's long boy.
Structure acts as a non-Newtonian fluid? So it's like
it
like shapeshifts? I'm a little confused. Who's phone calling? Are you kidding me, Dad? Right now?
Come
on, Father. Due to its severe... Okay. The SCP is anomalously adept at this form of traversal, with current measurements placing its maximum speed at 44 kilometers per hour. Crocat, you're a fucking American. How dare you?
Whoa.
The current what?
Very good, Crocat. Very good.
He just remembers where he came from.
Any other pipe crawlies in the chats this time? The currently accepted theory is the subject's anomalous movement is partly gravitational in nature. It has been observed that major movements on the SCP's part involve a point or multiple on its mass pulling the rest of the body forward. So it's like pseudopodia or some shit.
Yeah.
Is what I'm imagining. Minor, but yet it's moving 44 kilometers an hour. Ooh. Minor movements are the result of it tensing and releasing muscles and skin with varying levels of articulation. Of note is that the SCP is only able to utilize its gravitational anomaly while in structures it considers to be pipes. A secondary anomalous property the entity possesses is remote manipulation of objects and structures it considers to be pipes. Testing for telekinesis, animus-based telepathy, and retrocausal temporal editing have yielded no results. Testing for ontokinesis has been inconclusive. The SCP mainly... That's like reality bending, right?
Yeah, true.
The SCP mainly uses this ability to create new pathways to travel through. Though the full capabilities of this property is unknown. So it's like a little pipe guy, and it moves pipes around. His ability is to move pipes and travel through pipes. The SCP's personality is highly abrasive, exhibiting varying levels of hostility to all organisms it encounters. Is this going to build up to be one giant I'm in your walls joke? That's what I'm fearful of right now. The actions the subject takes are unpredictable and with obtuse logic behind them, with the only consistent behavior being its attempts to escape containment.
It's like a really fucked up Mario.
Exactly.
What did they do to him?
Don't put me in the pipe. That's my
I gotta escape containment.
Mario, get me out of the pipes.
Luigi,
you stupid bitch. How'd you get in the pipes?
He would never say that to his fucking brother, and I won't have you fucking say that in his words.
Tanoni, do you want to play Smash Brothers after this stream?
I don't have the time.
Why can't you find it?
Because if I had time in a bottle, I would drink it.
If I could have time in a bottle,
I would drink it.
That's not how it goes! No! That's the British version of the song.
Besides the greed of the British.
Oh my god.
Discovery. On the 17th of September 2010, maintenance workers at... footnote, name of manufacturing plant redacted due to a confidential investigation into possible GOI 952 only Ironworks activity.
I figured it out.
What?
Disney World.
Holy shit. He blew this thing wide open. Reported sounds of whispering coming from the basement pipes. Because all employees at the plant were well versed on procedure when dealing with GOI 952.
What whistle? Hear its cry.
With GOI 952. How am I supposed to give him crit when I can't even focus?
Sorry.
You idiot! You fool! No, I'm kidding. Keep making jokes. You're hilarious.
Thank you.
The workers... But let me read. The workers... but keep making jokes.
Okay.
You have to... Only you can decide the good end.
Only you can save them. Only you.
The workers elected to ignore it. 3 days later, a pipe blockage was encountered in the basement. Inspection revealed that what was initially believed to be a fatberg before the organic material shot out and punched each worker present in the face simultaneously. What's a fatberg? Yeah.
Is that like a buildup of fat in a pipe? Because that's disgusting.
Evil Mario be like... Evil Mario be like,
Bowser means nothing to me.
Evil Mario like, stay.
I don't know what a fatberg is. I don't want to wait 30 minutes.
It's what got the Titanic, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Fatberg. Me when the Titanic hits a fatberg. After communication with the entity revealed it to be an anomaly unrelated to GOI 952, the Foundation was notified and containment established. Alright, we have an interview...
Do not Google fatberg.
We have an interview log with the SCP and Dr. Jebbet Oi.
Maybe the SCP, please.
You
There's
can be
nothing
the
I wanted more.
Sobek, do you want to be... Wait, Sobek...
Sadly, I have to leave in a minute to go DM a tabletop game.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Here's your doctor's note. You can go.
We're glad you stuck around. I'm so sad people didn't like my close-up Mario impression. I'm crying. I'm shitting.
He's so excited about being able to speak into the mic. Everyone fucking hates it.
I'm so excited about getting to speak into my mic. I just want people to enjoy it.
Guare, it's Guare's turn. Get Guare in here.
I turn into Guare.
Why did the message get retracted? He said I want in, and then it said message retracted.
I fucking saw it. Guare, get in here.
It was funny, Darnell, but loud.
What if I send your loud crow cat? How would you feel about that?
This is Radio Terror.
Oh,
Hello, Guare.
Oh my
Hello?
god, Guare Mike is no. Guare, please, are you on your phone?
Oh, I mean like my laptop.
Okay, that's better. It sounds better now. At first it was very crackly.
We're just fucking abducting people out of the voice chat.
Alright, Guare, do you want to be Dr. Oi?
Okay, I'll be Dr. OI.
Okay.
And I'll be the SCP. There's nothing I've ever wanted fucking more.
Forward. Personnel arrived at from the nearby Site 393 with Dr. I electing to conduct the interview. SCP conversed with Dr. I through an open pipe with its eye protruding from another.
Backward.
Can you please state your name for the record?
I'm Pac-Man, you stupid asshole.
It's Mario in the pipe? I thought it was Luigi. No. It's Mario.
Well, alright. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about yourself. But how do you feel right now? If you're feeling unwell, we can postpone this question for another day.
I don't get sick. My immune cells are twice as big as the average person's. Wah!
I don't just mean illness. How do you feel physically? Are you experiencing any discomfort from being confined in a tight space?
What kind of idiot fucking dumb moron question is that? Of course I feel fine. I'm Pipe Man. Wahoo! I have the longest body in the world.
How are you doing, Mario?
Okay, how did you gain such a long body? Were you born this way or did some event in your lives cause this change?
That's what they ask me. I'm not going to go any further with that. I used to be an investor with a habit of going long on assets, buying stocks and bonds that will increase in value over time.
I used to hit the bricks with my fist and I went to get the coin, but these days with inflation...
That's what he calls an investment.
Yeah.
And I
put all my coins in bricks and I'm not getting anything out of my investment.
I went long on every investment. I was rolling in dough. I was the longest investor in the world. And my way of life eventually came crashing down along with the stock market. GameStop, Build-A-Bear, Nintendo, the value of all my assets plummeted. I was forced to sell all my valuables just to keep the repo men from taking my kidneys and thyroids. I lost everything. My TV, my bike, I even had to release my prize axolotls into the Chicago River.
Those axolotls are fucking dead. They cannot survive.
Yeah, they are like ultra dead.
They can live in like one very specific place in the world, or like a super like well-maintained little habitat you keep for them, or they will just die.
No, they survived. They became stronger.
No, they are dead.
The world government failed me. If the pillars of the society were going to prevent me from going long, then I just had to make my own pillar, a hollow pillar, a tube, you could say. So I threw myself into... He's gone up from Mario, it's like Dracula. So I threw myself into a vacuum tube and elongated my form beyond human imagination, just like Elon did with a kid, I think. Wait, what?
I don't know, but that's funny. I just had a weird thought that was completely unrelated. It's only related to the axolotls and their hyper-specific living conditions. But imagine you, like, leave your Pokemon at a daycare, right? Like your Wooper, and you come back and you're like, sorry, it died. We didn't have the right setup.
Yeah, that would be bad, yeah.
Sorry, we didn't have enough water for your Magikarp. It's dead. Anyway, it's your turn, Guare.
We have noticed that you were able to manipulate pipes and tubes without touching them. How is that?
I've eaten so much iron that has created a polar charge in my bloodstream and given me the ability to move pipes through the power of magnosis.
Sick.
You eat iron?
I eat iron blocks, banana peels from Mario Kart, greeting cards. What the hell else I find in the pipes?
You've been able to subside solely of refuse found in pipe systems.
Sewer workers tried to assassinate me by force-feeding me sludge. Little did they know that sludge was filled with fluoride. Now I got the strongest teeth in the world, baby. I can break any rat's ass.
How did you arrive in this facility?
I lost a golf ball, so I fought the alligator to get it back. She kicked my ass, then waffle stomped me down another drain, and I ended up here.
So...
I got the golf ball back.
What did you do with the golf ball?
I put it on a shelf.
What shelf?
A shelf, you nitwit.
This is not Mario.
Right.
He would never say
You
this.
mentioned you used to be an investor.
He's developed. He's become someone new.
Do you remember what your name used to be back then, or the company or firm you used to work for, if any?
I'm not telling you my secret identity. What the fuck? See, the little thing called Gefabe, which means, I forget what it means, but it's the same idea, orthogonally.
What the fuck does orthogonally mean?
You know what it means.
Doesn't
No, I
matter.
don't. It does matter. I need to know what every word means immediately after I hear it. Crowcat, tell me right now in the chat.
I don't know what
Okay.
F5 means, so
What does
I'm
it
in the
mean?
same boat.
Crowcat, I'm waiting. SCP, it's your turn.
We have to wait for the answer.
No, we don't. We're not waiting
Yeah,
30 seconds for the
yes.
stream.
Yeah, we're waiting for Crowcat.
Listen,
What does
you
it
know,
mean?
when you
It
do
means
this and
adjacent,
you
sort
hear
of.
it, they're going to have to listen to this after
I've just
that.
got the reply while you've been complaining about me waiting, so it means adjacent, sort of.
It's okay.
Well, you're within your right to withhold any information you are not comfortable
I
sharing.
feel like I'm constantly fighting to have a good quality, and then when it's bad quality, I have to hear Lan be like, guys, this quality sucks. Every time.
Is Lan in the room with us?
Lan is in the room, but Lan is entirely in my head, a psychological enemy I've created that does not exist in the real world.
Wait, are
More
you saying
like
that? What do you mean
within-
Wisland doesn't exist in the real world?
More like within my blood. I've
Yeah,
stuck
no.
in this brick biome for the past 36 hours.
Yeah, remember that part where if we don't finish all these, we have to do it again next week?
I remember.
Can you read your line?
Yeah, good for me.
Well, I did just
Honestly,
read it.
good for
You
me.
interrupted me. Lan will not be pleased, Darnell.
Go ahead.
Lan has won the argument.
Darnell, it's your turn anyway, it's a footnote.
Wait, oh.
You do remember, Darnell, but if you don't read them all...
How come when I'm the one reading a main article, you don't do the footnotes, but when you're the one, I also still have to do the footnotes?
Because I decide the shape of this world.
The time between initial recovery and interview was approximately 2 hours.
Thank
A
you.
wet slithering sound echoes through the pipe system above, before ending in a
gosh, not
loud,
bad, you know.
metallic bang.
Unfortunately, I am afraid you'll have to stay here a little while longer. There's been a...
Look at that. The laws of the universe can't constrain me. I slide right through them.
SCP's eyes shoot forward in an attempt to hit Dr. Oi. He dodges before being hit from a different pipe and knocked unconscious.
I'm the Dan Cooper of leaving buildings. So long, ASCP.
Dr. Oi was treated for his injury and returned to duty. Add log of pipeman site. Nice. Classic.
Very good.
Classic draft moment. Do you really need to add a log of that, though? I feel like... How much would that really add? I already like where it's going so far with the pacing. Well, actually, I should probably finish the article before I say that, because I see it's almost over now. Never mind.
Yeah.
Further information. After containment was stabilized, research into the SCP's pre-containment history began. Reports, sightings, and footage of the entity's activity between 2007 to 2010 were collected. It is unknown how these events escaped the Foundation's notice. Event 62. A hand pushes a child off a swing set into the wood chip. Is this like things you're going to insert later, or is this like the whole event?
Yeah, it is in his going to insert later. This is like a draft of what he has planned.
Event 75. An old woman walking across the street does not notice a truck driving towards them. The SCP's hand bursts through a nearby fire hydrant, grabbing the individual and pulling them back to the sidewalk. Wheel/Ballman? Ballman encounter? They have Ballman in this article?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Ballman.
This is like the Avengers
He's bowling.
of Crocat SCPs. Vampire
You're thinking
Tugboat's
of
gonna
those
be like
steps
on
into
your
a thinner
left.
worlds.
Notes for critters. I'm unsure where to go after the further information section. I'm planning on adding more events.
Crocat like an anime protagonist?
I have an idea for at least one log of him outside the pipes. I was suggested to add an incident where a nemesis of Pipeman breaks into the facility, although I'm unsure if I want to go that direction. I originally wrote this with the intent of it being a character piece, and though it wasn't unintentional, it also falls under the Funny Man TM subgenre. I think when you brought up Elon Musk and mentioned he was an investor is what made it comedic.
Like, sorry.
Because those
No,
are like,
there were, like,
very
many other
topical
things
like
before.
things we dunk on them for. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you wanted him to still be an investor and do that, there'd be a way to write it a little bit differently if you don't want it to be comedy. But I think it's fun as a comedy piece right now. But whatever you want to intend. What are some ways to approach writing a funny character piece? Or if you have experience, what are some ways you've approached the
that way.
subject? Are there any things to keep in mind while writing one of these, like tropes or trends? Also, what did you think of the article so far? Anything I should work on or keep in mind going forward?
I liked it.
I thought it was.
I feel like I need to know more about Ballman before I can say.
Yeah, I feel like the thing about being funny, at least for me, and this isn't what people who actually write comedy will tell you.
As an expert on being funny,
I can never be funny when I try to be funny. I'm only funny when I completely don't intend to be. So, I don't know, Tan, do you have any good advice on how to be funny?
Comedy is tragedy, but when you laugh at the end.
If you didn't intend for it to be funny, you shouldn't have made his signature character trait swearing all the time, or have brought up Elon Musk's kid. I think those things, like, inherently, like, set the audience up to want it to be funny. Like, that sets a tone, you know what I mean? It's all about how you set your tone. Rather than a tragedy, it comes across like, he's just a guy, and, oh man, I got fucked in the ass, you know what I mean? That's kind of how it reads. I like it, though. If you don't want to be funny, though, I think you need to rewrite it from the top.
Daniel Crockett has clarified in the comments what he meant.
Oh, it's meant to be comedic. I just didn't intend for it to be a funny man. Can you describe what funny man means, Tan? Is that like an SCP?
Have you read Hogslice?
What?
Do you remember Hogslice?
Yeah, I remember Hog Slice.
So basically, that's the most famous funny man article, but there are a bunch of others.
Oh, like where the humor is just the character is wacky and quoting the character.
Yeah.
Oh. I think if you don't want him to be a funny man, either tone down his dialogue or cut some of it, and then lean further into, like, the event logs. Because the dialogue's pretty long, and all his lines are, like, punchlines, pretty much.
I'll show you a fucking punchline. Come here.
There's my punchline. You want to fight me, Tanoni? Boxing cage match? It's the rage these days.
2 years time, the next WriterBot Festival's a fucking, like, fight.
Yeah, there's no crit at all. No, what it is we read an article, then we beat the fuck out of each other for 3 minutes, and then try and crit it. With how our brains are still working.
Donna will probably win.
Would I? You have a height advantage, which is
actually true. I would easily defeat you.
But I also have I have nothing to lose. I would go all
my
in.
Speed would be superior.
I'm sure to win because of my superior speed. Are they good punchlines? I think so. I mean, they appealed to the SCP Wiki audience at least, and I laughed. So, yeah. I can't really offer too much crit on what's not written yet in terms of where you're going with the events or whatever the fuck Ballman is. What do you have thoughts, Tan? You might be better suited for suggesting where to take this.
Like I said, I need to see Ballman before I can say.
But do you have like any other advice for where to take the article?
I don't know what I need, but I need to see Ballman.
Okay.
And I need him to be a contrast in some way to Pipeman. And then I need I need that contrast to mean something. Okay, I don't know whether we need a lot of Pipeman sayings, to be honest.
You know what? I don't think it should be an encounter with Ballman or Wheelman. I think he should have an encounter with an anomalous plumber whose like goal it is to get him out of the pipes. Because I think that
that's Mario. That's Mario.
That would give you two really funny characters, and that would prevent you from having one funny man. And also,
he's right. Actually, I need Ballman and Pipeman to kiss.
Wait, that's not what I was gonna say. I mean, do what you want. It's your article. I don't know anything about Wheel and Ballman, but that's what I would do. Maybe I'm a hack, but I would put in a funny plumber nemesis, and I would have the plumber also curse all the time. And
is the plumber Italian?
No, don't just make it a Mario joke.
Swedish.
You know what you should do? You should make the plumber like a loan shark, like an anomalous loan shark or something, for like the people he owes money.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing. You have ideas?
No.
Don't take that as God crit. I was just spitballing. Wheel Ballman is a Metal Gear Solid character name. It is a little bit.
Hot Goldman was the best.
Just say you want to see Mario. I don't! Just because something's a plumber doesn't mean it's Mario. I realize this hurts my case because we spent like 30 minutes making Mario jokes. But that's not my intent. If you have something stuck in your pipes, you get a plumber to snake your pipes. That's what you do. Maybe that's just on my mind because I'm like playing a plumber / handyman in another campaign. and I had to snake a bunch of pipes and deal with an anomalous threat. Pipeman's probably seen a lot of weird stuff and people. You could also make it a love story and introduce like another pipe man or a pipe woman or something. 2 pipemen.
Yeah.
Alright, should we move to the next one?
Probably should. And it's another Crocat joint.
Fucking Crocat. Taking
The
up all
evil
the slots,
Crocat.
because Guare said he could.
Guare gave him the pass.
Hey,
Fucking Guare. I'm kidding. You didn't do anything wrong.
hey, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't I.
It's okay, Guare. I forgive you for your sins and trespasses.
Let's get into it.
Yeah,
Alright,
Crocat's
so
Pigtails. It's your turn to read.
I'm so ready. And this is, I believe, is this going on the SCP Wiki or is this a Wanderer's Library gig? Let's find out. The VL518 Orange Invader Incident Reconnaissance Reports. Date 016127. Filed by Herblefuse. Upon receiving civilian transmission...
Crocat says it's going on the wiki.
Okay.
In theory.
Upon receiving civilian transmissions regarding the sudden communication silence of Gliese 445-C, base production facility VL518, my department sent me to ascertain the situation. As I approached the factory, I could confirm the reports of orange lights emanating from all the windows. What the citizens didn't mention, however, is the light would dim the closer you got to the factory. I don't believe this info was withheld on purpose. It's a subtle change, and those who did notice probably thought it was their minds playing tricks on them. Everything was shut off inside. Conveyor belts, reconfiguration machines, transporters, everything. Despite the lights being turned off, it wasn't complete darkness. My immediate surroundings were constantly illuminated by a dim, ambient light, while things further in the distance were swallowed by darkness. I couldn't figure out the source of the ambient lighting, but it certainly wasn't the orange light. That was emanating in the distance, in the dark. While traveling the factory floor, I passed by many of the workers, all of whom were in a strange stupor. They were walking around, but wouldn't respond to any questioning. They didn't seem fully aware of what was going on. Closest thing I could compare it to would be that one neurological condition. Can't remember the name. That causes one of your heads to wake up and start talking while the rest are asleep.
Wait, multiple heads?
Yeah. You don't have those?
No.
You're a loser. Every time a worker spoke, it sounded like they were in the middle of a conversation. After some time tracking the lights, I reached a doorway leading to a set of stairs. On my approach, everything outside the stairway grew dark, leaving only the orange glow illuminating from the bottom of the steps. The source. The anomaly.
I was suspecting it, but Crocat just confirmed. These are aliens. These are aliens.
Well, they have multiple heads, IT suspected.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it was some fucking anomaly thing where people don't realize they have multiple heads.
No, that's not normal. You should only have one.
Tanoni, can I punch you in the throat?
You can try.
I think that would greatly increase my pleasurability in this call. Pleasurability, is that a word?
You know what? Well, that fucking mean.
Joy. My joy. It would increase my joy. Keep reading,
Hold on.
boy.
I actually have a benefit to you because you just threatened me.
What?
Oh no, my friend. Threats of violence have no place in our conversation or any interaction for that matter. Such behaviour is not only disrespectful, but also unacceptable. It's important to treat others with kindness and empathy, even in moments of frustration or disagreement.
See that? That's what you smell like. You smell like poopy. You're poop man.
I understand that you may be experiencing some frustration, but resorting to threats only escalates the situation and shows a lack of maturity and respect.
Did you ChatGPT this? When he doesn't shut up, he's ChatGPT.
I urge you to reconsider your words and
Please
approach the
shut the fuck
situation with a more constructive and peaceful mindset. We
I
are here to have a
wanna kill
meaningful
myself.
conversation and find solutions,
This is
not
what
engage
being in
in
a
hostile
conversation with Tanhoney
exchanges.
for more than 5 minutes feels like.
Donnell.
Yeah.
Let's strive for understanding, empathy, and a respective dialogue,
I'm
shall we?
literally going to cut my own arm off and eat it if you don't stop with ChatGPT.
There's a threat only to you. The stairs led to a large room that was too messy for me to discern its purpose. Piles of trash and wrecked conveyor belts decorated the place. Amidst the refuse was the anomaly, this big black machine covered with levers and knobs and light bulbs. The machine had a blocky, almost haphazard design, section of the surface protruding or receding in square shapes, leaving metal framework to reach for the air. The light bulbs all looked the same, except for one. It was on the top of the machine and much larger than the others, a round shape then tapered off into a pointed tip, and its light red. This bulb would switch on and off more frequently than the others, each time accompanied by a harsh buzzing noise. The anomaly wasn't this room's only defining feature. There was a lone worker whose uniform indicated a jaw position different from the others. Their mumblings were a bit clearer. "Is it a mound or a hole? Is that you? What are you looking for? If that's the case, then they're no different from corpses." "What? Oh, I'm unsure if that brings any comforts." I watched the worker scramble around, pulling levers and twisting knobs that occasionally moved on their own. Sometimes a compartment opened up on a machine, and either the worker would throw something in or an object would shoot out of it, all while the red light buzzed like it was barking orders. This went on a while till the worker bumped into me as I was getting a closer look. As soon as that happened, they collapsed and the anomaly shut down, removing all illumination from the room. I put up my headlight and assessed the area. I judged there was no additional danger and decided to carry the worker back upstairs. As soon as I lifted them up, I saw something move near the machine. Came out from behind it, and I could only make out the shape. A short, stout body with a single appendage twice its height. I'm unsure what the appendage ended in. I remained in place, uncertain what action to take when I noticed the figure was not moving. As I quietly shifted a foot towards the stairs, I heard a loud snapping sound made by the creature's movements. I watched it shuffle further out from behind the machine, each jerky movement accompanied by that violent snapping. Given its unnatural movements, I hypothesized the entity may be in pain, and decided the best course of action was to use the stasis inducer, which would prevent it from harming itself and allow me to bring the worker to safety. But as I grabbed the device, a startlingly loud snap caused me to drop it, and the impact echoed throughout the room. Needless to say, I almost dropped a waste sack. Note for critters. I can't think of what should happen next. What's wrong with you like this, Crocat?
The most I can come up... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, naturally, you're the voice of Crocat.
The most I can come up with is the one-armed figure running towards them, and the inspector running out of the building with the worker, but that feels unsatisfying.
This voice is about to be set into like a Danganronpa trial, I feel.
With the figure... Yeah, this is like fucking Nagito or whatever.
It's like, we can't kill each other, guys.
Would the figure suddenly moaning, buzzing that get louder and louder than the inspector runs out be better? Also, should I remove the waste sack land? Honestly, I kind of zoned out a couple times during this. I think a little bit too much time was spent on, like, describing the machine and stuff happening. Like, I wasn't really... I don't know how to
waste
describe
sack you need to keep. I would keep this waste sack line.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some good stuff in there. But, like, I feel
like
there was too many elements for how short it was, right? Like, they're aliens, they're in a weird thing, there's an undescribed anomaly, Gliese 445C links to something... Also, there's, like, a bunch of description. It's, like, there was too many things for me to keep track of for how short it was, that I kind of got lost and pulled in all directions. That was my thought, personally. But what...
Is there more to this? Is this bit below more that we should be going through?
Yeah. I'm not sure. But what did you think, Tan? Am I crazy? I don't want to sound like a dick or anything.
I quite enjoyed it. I feel like I need to know where it's going, but in terms of the prose and the description, there were some repetitions of some words. I feel like you could do a once-over just to make sure you're not like repeating yourself too much. But I quite like it. It's quite atmospheric, and I like the alien viewpoint.
Nice. Maybe it was just an ADHD moment on my part then.
And for that, you're gonna go to the Danganronpa trial still, I'm afraid.
I wish I had the Adderall, buddy.
That's why we brought you viewers too. It's punishment time.
Should I remove the waste sack line? Don't remove the waste sack line.
No, but you mustn't.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was bad or anything. But I just don't feel like I can add much because I did indeed zone out a bit throughout it. So I want to leave that to Tan's department.
My department?
Department. Tan's department.
That's what I said. Well, yeah, let's get to the next little paragraph here. Vespin, Northern Hemisphere, Sector 23, East-Northwest, Hotel. Those complaints from guests regarding commotion on third floor. Societal officer sent to investigate. Source of the commotion discovered to be a crowd of 27 biped guests observing an anomaly in one of the rooms. Anomaly was a Vesperlian face protruding from a wall and coated in white fire. The face did nothing except stir around the room. Guest present at the event later reported being mesmerized by the anomaly. Officer also became mesmerized upon viewing the anomaly. One guest, a quadruped Misceliatoris by the name of Dr. Ube, noticed the crowd and desired to witness the subject of their attention. Upon entering the room, the anomaly stared at Dr. Ube before retracting back into the wall, with the white fire demanifesting. Present guests were broken out of the stupor, while Dr. Ube suddenly began coughing violently before falling unconscious. The attending officer quickly transported Dr. Ube to the nearest interspecies hospital, who was discovered to be suffering from Livian poisoning. I would probably say where he was discovered, otherwise it sounds like the hospital is suffering from Livian poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
After a few years, they actually met up.
The tale is meant to be a series of encounters with this universal phenomenon just seen at different angles. Oh, so like from different sort of aliens and planets and stuff?
I think that's exactly it, Darnell. What do you think, Gwari?
Gwari's still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am still here.
Gwari, you haven't spoken
I was
like
hoping you wouldn't notice me.
He's so scared. He's like being held hostage.
Gwari jump scare. Hey, Gwari, how are you?
I was hoping you wouldn't notice me, but yeah, I really like the atmosphere in here. You guys have something very good going on.
Nice.
Then we have another one, another translation log. 2020 GBI Lammy. Query: speculation on identity of celestial objects.
Response: it is a planet. Argument: its density is too small to be a star.
Counter-argument:
Wait.
its density is too large to be a planet.
Oh, we're still reading that. Fuck. Sorry, I got confused. My bad. I was on the wrong
It's
article.
okay.
I thought you said we were going to the next article, and I was like, "What the fuck are you reading?" I forgot there's a little.
I'm just going insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very confused. I'm so sorry.
Oh, we got a juicy one from Land. This is Land, right?
Yeah.
It says.
Glass
Yeah,
house
Lan
with
too.
butterfly. Jesus Christ, Lan! Oh my God, it's long. All right, do you think we can do this? Do you think?
I think we can try.
All right. Oh God. Of course, it's mine. Okay.
I can help if you need it. I can help if you need it.
No, I got this. It's all in the mind. It's all in the fucking mind. Next time we're putting a word limit, though. Next year, for real. 5K word limit.
I think this is less than 5k words.
Is this less than 5K?
I think so.
To write is to remember through another's eyes, declared Terence Tenement of the Glass House, eager to pen his name into the chief archivist's 3 hearts with 7 words, equally split. A monumental mathematical task for some, but one which he could not resist the challenge of. Terence had tinkered with this specific phrase for countless fevered nights, building upon the previous iteration. Memories are spoken with a neighbor's tongue. All in service of creating the most wondrous, subtle, yet meaningful phrase in the history of language.
This guy's pen's on fire.
Terence dreamed of his own phrase to rival his teacher's magnum opus, the famous phrase, king of adages, adage of kings. Quality over quantity.
Ooh! He's spitting.
Okay, I'll pull up. That's my adage. His teacher, a man called Aurelius Palm, had spent 5 years developing the maxim, and upon its completion and release into the public eye, had immediately retired from writing, citing the phrase's justification. Terence resolved to do the same. I kind of love this, like, trying to create, like, the next thing everyone fucking says.
It's like the Reddit thing was like, I'm not a professional quote maker, but...
Yeah. Quality over quantity. It's so good.
This is a world where you can be a professional quote maker.
In those days, the study of concision was young. Words had not yet been divided into portions smaller than syllables, and despite Aurelius's efforts, the smallest unit of language was just an abstract hypothetical, always out of reach. He had become old without his noticing. The years of brevity had reduced his ability to write almost as much as his hairline. Out of his 3, is this like a long con about like how you shouldn't write things shorter? Or is the joke that it's like a long article about trying to write things concisely? Or am I thinking too much about it?
I think there he is, not too mad.
You might be thinking too much about this.
Maybe. Out of his 3 students, Terence Tenement provided him with the most hope for the subject. It was clear he would become a master of both the written and spoken word, as well as the listened and observed, which are equally, if not more important, to an aspiring writer. Terence's use of concise language surpassed both of his classmates, because that was the attitude he had always possessed, and which he applied to all aspects of life. Terence spoke with absolute purpose. He wore awkward pauses like medals, and considered himself a natural at silence. According to his father, he hadn't spoken his first word until 19 months old. In contrast, Mercedes and Daniel Cantillon had no divine penchant for the subject of brevity. They were half-siblings, often mistaken for twins. Wordplay, argument, and rambling emotional expression came with the territory. As such, the pair were far superior to Terence at code-switching between the elaborate and the concise. Where Terence practiced linguistic efficiency, Mercedes and Daniel had learned early on that they could never stick to such firm practices, and, at times, language could be as disobedient as them. Through his studies, Terence had come to understand the three key aspects of a memorable phrase: brevity, poetry, and a degree of nonsense. These aspects fortunately followed their own rules, and thus it did not take long for him to memorize them entirely. Terence was a perfect student and a perfectionist by birthright. His father circumvented the problem by having poor eyesight while sculpting glass. But Terence didn't want to make things that could be destroyed so easily. His goal was to create a legacy through words, and so he pruned and cut and trimmed and tidied. In some cases, he even had to resort to slashing and hacking, until the phrase was done. This method of working was effective for quality, but not for quantity, no matter, he thought, recalling his teacher's routine maxim. Yet, Terence could not continue to turn in his assignments late. One day after class, confident in his dedication to the subject, Aurelius confided in Terence that his famous 3 words were not entirely true. He did not consider it his best phrase, or even his most memorable. He had simply caught reality in a giving mood. The trick, he told Terence, was to be writing always quality over quantity, yes, but from the pain of quantity, quality will always arise. From then on, his pen did not cease. Can I say, by the way, from the pain of quantity, quality will always arise is actually kind of a harder phrase than quality over quantity.
Hell yeah.
I kind of fucking love that. I want that on a t-shirt.
Do you sell t-shirts, Lon?
Lane's not even in here, I don't think.
Lon,
no, he's in here.
This is so
Lon, note down the answers to these questions.
Eventually, with no particular stress or difficulty, Terence Tenement graduated with a master's degree in applied brevity and a bachelor's in comparative linguistics. He celebrated
just like me.
Is he?
No.
Tan, give me your best. Give me your best brief phrase. What's your fire phrase?
Oh.
Guy who is
Gang,
not.
gang.
I need a minute. Hold on.
I killed him. My dog's here. My dog's worried. He's a worried dog. My dog is like very nervous and anxious all the time.
It's because he lives with you. He never knows. No,
he's just been for the entirety of the stream so far.
Yeah.
There's a tiny gap in between the wall and my desk. He's squeezed into there and been hiding from nothing.
He can see the hat, man. Where was I at again?
You were telling me about how quantity makes quality come around?
He celebrated his perfect grades with a shrug, ignored his father's 1,000 praises, and promptly left the house. His destination was the Cantillon household, which was hosting an extravagant party twice the size of any in the history of the Glass House. Is the Glass House like a Wanderer's Library thing, by the way, or is this unique to the article?
It's not something I've heard of previously.
Guade?
I think this is unique for the article.
Okay.
Or at least I haven't read it.
Gotcha. Familiar with his laconic temperament. Laconic's like lazy, right? Or lethargic?
No.
What's laconic?
No, it is.
What did you say?
No, it isn't lazy.
Okay, let me look up what laconic means. What does laconic mean? Laconic.
He doesn't believe you. He thinks you're a liar, Guara.
No, did you say? I didn't hear you. Did you say it's lazy? I have bad hearing.
No, I say it isn't.
It isn't. So what is it then?
I don't know. Why don't you look into that right now?
Of a person, speech, or style of writing using very few words. There we go. With his laconic temperament, Mercedes made him down a full bottle of Manishine, and not long after, he found himself sprawled on the floor, his hair doused in wood cleaner and his shoes on his hands. It was not the place for a scholar, but here and now they were scholars no more. They left word games at the door and danced until that room became the entire universe. Until the bell jar they were all trapped inside seemed to disappear and they could breathe at last. Terence danced until he could see the perfect phrase in his mind, finally discovered, and they danced together in harmony until the relief of graduation radiated through the air, pooling the students into the gravity of couches, carpets, guest rooms, and floor cushions, until the world slept. But not Terence. In the quiet hours of the morning, in that strange limbo before waking, Terence listened intently to Renee Spellthorne, his friend, a sorceress in training, tell of her idol and lifelong magical inspiration, the illustrious Grand Archivist of Amelia of the Wanderer's Library. Is that like the library owner?
I don't think the library has an owner, but that's like a big wig, I imagine.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Graduation came and went, but life hadn't started yet, that is, if it ever even starts at all. For Terence, this meant a return to the long evening hours of his childhood spent alone in his room. Terence and his father lived in the hills, where the ocean could be seen on the few days of summer every year, when the panes shed their condensation and the sea lost its foggy demeanor. It was these summer nights that Terence used to wander along pulp sand beaches, watching cromwells perch and mingle on the cliffside, not due to their avian nature, but because the library had given them a job, a purpose, to deliver words that would otherwise be lost among serpentine walkways and turpentine shelves. Upon his return, his shoes sand-covered and his hair salt-sprayed, Terence and Percival Tenement would eat together by the fireplace in their gargantuan, empty house. Now emancipated from his self-inflicted study, Terence resolved to study some more. Books always had a home in his room, but now they seemed to spill from the walls themselves, building brick by leather-bound brick, a holistic, utterly complete, universal theory of everything, that is, a theory all things brief. In these times of intensity, Terence would lock himself in his room, not in the traditional sense, but with, that is, but with the massive pile of books blocking the doorway, and study for hours without distraction, only ever stopping to reply his father's pleas to eat dinner, or say hello to a guest, or perhaps even take a walk around the garden for 10 minutes. The fresh air was good for his health. Oh my god, it's like the, wow, look who finally came out of their hole when you go out at the family outing. As the corridor flooded with tomes like... What?
Sorry, I liked your joke. I was laughing at it.
Oh, thank you. As the corridor flooded with tomes like boxes in a soon-to-be-sold house, Terence calculated more efficient ways of living. His weekly correspondence with his mentor Aurelius Pom became the result of a finely tuned paper aeroplane thrown out of his window and into the view of the Cromwells below, instead of the short walk to the post office. His fireside dinners with his father had to be stopped, of course, not simply because he couldn't exit his room, but because he had become paranoid of his miniature library being destroyed by a stray ember. Food and water were pushed through a crack in the book mound by Percival Tenement, too proud of his son's dedication to academics to tell him he had converted his own room into a prison cell. Terence had no real dialogue with anyone for weeks at a time, and he didn't mind much. Conversations always used too many words. His studies eventually reached a blockade. Nothing technical, he didn't think, just a lack of inspiration. Excuse me. Where he had once...
I'm gonna say, Dylan, like, as we go through, I feel like we may have to, like, leave halfway through here if we want to get to some others in this stream.
I'm kind of loving this one so far, but this is what I warned. It's crazy, I always warn this, and then you're like, oh, just read it, Darnell, and then, lo and behold. I'm
sorry.
You know what it is, I think? It's not entirely your fault, because you read more than me, I assume. And when you read something in your head, it's longer than when you have to say the words out loud.
Yeah.
Like, so if you read this in your head, it would probably be 10-15 minutes, but the fact that we have to say every word makes it take way, way longer. But I want to try and get through this because I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
Like, I'm actually kind of lost in the thrall of it right now.
What's in the sauce?
Yeah. I'll do my best. I'll try and speed it up as best I can. His studies eventually reached a blockade. Nothing technical, he didn't think, just a lack of inspiration. Where he had once used the sand to spark his creativity, he now found himself casting his gaze past the cordons of glass surrounding the town, protecting him from the sky and, further, what lay beyond, young wonder and the unexplored infinity of the library. Past those perpetual windows, he watched the siblings, half-twins Daniel and Mercedes, cross the sea of words in a vessel not of glass but of wood to join the awesome shelves of East-West Libraria. They would see the Great Hall without him. In some ways, Terence had known he was alone from a young age. He couldn't relate to his father, a working man, and his mother had been gone so long that he only remembered her by the sense of her clothes, remaining in the house's attic because Percival refused to give them away. When he was younger, his child's mind thought he saw her reflection in the many glassworks placed around the house, upon mantelpieces, window-sills, chandeliers, mosaic tiles, framed paintings, eyeglasses, telescopes, and monocles. He told his father this, knowing he himself had fashioned these works of art, believing innocently somehow part of her spirit remained in those many transparent miracles. "Stranger things have happened in the library," Terence said. Percival sold the business soon after. Years later, as he watched the Esmeralda... Zachariah? Monkey neurons activated. Years later, as he watched the Esmeralda fade into the red haze on the horizon, Terence felt an abject, almost unbearable emptiness. It felt dull and hollow, as if it had been brewing in the background, invisible for years. And at the same moment, he remembered the story Renee Spellthorne had told months ago, untouched by his mind since, the tale of a beautiful witch with 3 hearts, one of fiery platinum, one of flesh and blood, and one of stories. Over the next few weeks, as he forever tinkered with reducing the word count of his works, Terence found he could not dispel Renee's story from his mind. She had spoken of a great ceremony held before either of them was born, a young child cursed with nightmare eyes and a forked tongue, but with a burning soul only rivaled by the heat pulp of the boiler forge, and an unwavering curiosity about the world equal only to the first magicians, realizing for the first time what life could be. When Terence looked back on his writings for the week, consisting of countless index cards filled with words the size of acorns, he realized that, in a slightly different way, each one was about her. How do you feel about the prose so far? I'm kind of digging it.
I like it.
It's definitely...
Lance Pronounce is fantastic always. Just like have read some of his stuff.
It's a lot, but I feel like that's kind of the point of the article, is to contrast that with the whole brevity thing. My goodness. Crossover episode. Wait, what's a crossover? I got confused.
Skipper.
I can smell my neighbor smoking weed. I want to smoke some weed. One evening...
I can't believe you're facilitating drug usage on this channel.
I have it medical. I have a medical card. So, actually, it's problematic that you tell
Tweet
me.
it.
What?
Tweet the card.
Why would I do that? That sounds like a crime.
To prove yourself to me.
No, fuck you. I hate you.
Oh,
Yeah, I told you the other day my relationship with you was
you hate me?
80% love, 20% hate. Now it's 75% love, 25% hate.
well, it ebbs and flows.
My heart is a tempest, and it can never be calmed. You can merely enter the eye for brief periods of time. One evening, after the loneliness Terence had been nurturing became too much even for him, he hesitantly, shamefully emerged from his room. He wandered through the corridors as if a stranger, observing with faint nostalgia the choice of wallpaper, brushing past old family portraits, hesitating at turnings. Excuse me. Halfway down the entrance stairs, Terence realized he had forgotten the location of the loudest floorboards, the ones he used to avoid. His descent finished, and Terence took in the state of the grand foyer. Even there, volumes filled the room almost to the ceiling. He moved past language books piled in Babylonian towers, pillars of newspaper columns and columns of religious pillars from the Planetside pressed up against the window, the 20-year-old editions of the Glenmire Gazette. Terence waded through petrified pulp, unstapled pamphlets, and hot-off-the-press presentations. One would think a concessionist would have no use for geological research papers, but no. Terence found value in understanding the structure of worlds outside the library, and thus they grew in leather-bound stalagmites all over the entrance hall. He had tomes on igneous paper formed from the heart of the boiler forge itself, and on the other side his library contained a copy of a sedimentary work from the page tunnels, flattened over ages by millions of worlds. Most of the works were third-hand, on loan, borrowed from semantically privileged individuals, etched from first editions, perfectly memorized, stolen, or in one particular case, regurgitated. That sentence gave me a headache, but it was kind of fun. As such, Terence's library contained an unusual degree of esoteric, antique, and largely unknown pieces, which is the polite way of saying whatever he could get his hands on. Footnote. The only books produced inside the glass...
Handnotes.
Go ahead, read it.
No, sorry, I said handnote.
No, read the footnote.
Fine. Footnote. It's so fucking tiny.
Go ahead.
The only books produced inside the glass house at this point of time were either contemporary works published by the small writers community living therein, or glass books, which was unfortunately not a local nickname, but an accurate physical descriptor.
Terence passed the makeshift shelves, skimming the names of books he had once read. There was Hellbound, an unfinished history of the archives, the less-known sequel to Muhammad Antigonus's celebrated piece, the Lord Horus Manifesto, by the infamous anti-library group only ever distributed by hand, The Wayward by Harriet Glimsey, winner of the Ghostly Guild Award, the first to be won prehumously. Oh, that's fun, because it's ghosts. That's cute. That got me. Good bit, Lan. The Archivist's Game by Raymond Rossmanier, a mystery thriller written from the perspective of a fictionalized third-and-a-half grand archivist, Orm in the Spirit of Writing by an unknown author, the rarest book in his collection, and many more. Can I say, by the way, off topic, but mysteries are so goddamn hard to write. They really are. Because, like, you don't want...
I will agree, yeah.
You don't want the audience to find it out too quickly, but you also want to give them the tools to find it out. It's so hard anytime I want to implement one in, like, a DM thing. That's why I'm always amazed by my current DM when he's, like, able to pull it off. It's so tricky.
Thank you.
Not you. That's not what I meant. I meant my Hunter the Reckoning DM. I don't think we've had any mysteries in fucking... What's it called yet? Have we?
Maybe you just don't realize it.
I mean, we've had mysteries, but we haven't, like, gotten clues and actually gotten info on them. I assume they'll be revealed in, like, 20 episodes. Or it's like, surprise, really, the whole time. Actually, you know, Catherine was kind of a mystery, but we didn't really get, like, a trail of clues for it. But that was fun. I think you're capable of writing a good mystery.
You got the greatest clue of all that I told you in the first episode.
I'm sorry I didn't immediately remember the name from, like, 2 years ago.
It was a clue. I don't know what to tell you. It was a clue.
Okay. And now I'm mad, and I'm 27% hate towards you.
I'm sorry.
It's increasing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I feed you a Darnell puff.
26%.
It's like fucking Pokemon.
I'm a Tamagotchi. It was perhaps the most elaborate, verbose, and positively pretentious library to ever be assembled. Have you ever been inside a British person's home?
Yeah.
What's your library look like?
My local library?
No, your house library, like your books.
Well, I don't have a library, but I've got like a bookshelf with books in it. It's like it's nothing special.
Oh, okay, never mind. I take back my comment. Tan Honey, winner of the Mystery Theme 5000 contest, when he hears mysteries are hard to write. Yeah, but he doesn't put enough clues in his article to solve the mystery. He's just like, you'll never find out.
My readers just aren't smart enough to keep up with it.
Definitely. Tan Honey has done like more regular mysteries.
A mystery is only a mystery if it can and will be solved. Otherwise, it's just like a, I don't even know. You know what I mean? What would be the word?
What do you mean?
I only own like 10 books. How do I read less but own more books than people? This is my problem. This is insane. I have like 20 or 30 books, but I don't read most of them.
You decorative.
I have books I bought in high school that I bought to like do the fucking Fate RP. I still have not opened them. Like about like Norse mythology and shit and other stuff. Have not even cracked them open. Or like pirates and stuff. Anyways, it's not important. We're reading Land's article.
Not One Piece.
Halfway through his solitary confinement, Terence became frustrated by the strangeness of the collection he had compiled, and so he employed his father to employ his assistant to employ the local archivist, who in turn employed the strategy of begging their contacts across the water to perhaps, and by no means was this a demand, this is like how I talk to someone, if you can't, all good, no worries, spare a tiny amount of their weekly stock for the bright academic youth of the day. They are the future of the library, the archivist had written, blissfully unaware of the fact that Terence's future was set in stone, written in the stars, and indeed penned into most natural phenomena, if one looked closely enough. When Terence finally arrived in the dining room, he found the table set for two. The fireplace was lit much against his wishes, and the long table had but 2 chairs at the far rounded end facing inwards. His father was sitting on the left. Their embrace was quiet. As he sat, Percival gently explained how he had let go of the house's extensive and seemingly invisible cleaning crew, catering, staff, and renovation team. But his education would always be his biggest priority. I believe you meant to put a comma there instead of a period, Lan. We did it. We critiqued the draft. We've done it. We've added something. If he actually watches this and sees that.
Yeah, he will watch it.
They sat there together for the first time in years, eating in silence while listening to the crackling of the industrial fireplace spin the embers into a fine chain like an expert weaver, hot tongues kissing brick goodbye in bittersweet celebration of ether.
For space.
Well, shut up. Lan said we
Sorry.
can't talk about that
Yeah,
anymore.
you've been told off.
Yeah.
You should have stopped me. You should have saw that coming.
He's going to be so mad if we do it during only
You
his
should have got the
article.
sniper to fire.
Father, what is it like to love?
Siguari left.
What? Do we have to get someone else? Who wants to come on? No.
Let's kidnap. Well, we don't have to, we don't ask them. We just summon them.
Guare. No.
Let's get Teeth in here.
Guare. Teeth. Why Teeth? Teeth sounded like
I don't know.
Teeth sounded like a wilderness thing. I don't think he can join.
Oh,
He's like camping somewhere.
sorry, Teeth. Hi, Teeth.
Who else? Let's see. We could get
Teeth just
Crocat.
joined.
We could get
How's it going, Teeth?
Welcome Teeth. Why are you? What's going on? Did you add Teeth?
Yeah, Teeth's here.
Teeth is
Mine-
at what?
I'm not connecting.
There you are. Aren't you
Oh,
at
Teeth.
like a camp thing right now?
Hold on. I can't
can
hear
find-
anything because my headphones aren't connecting. Hold up.
We can find you anywhere on the globe.
Hello?
Teeth, welcome to Life or Death for Darnell. The
Dear
crim show
God.
sweeping the nation.
Can you hear Teeth?
I can hear. My
Aren't you at a
headphones are
camping thing right now? Can you do this right now?
No, I just got home.
Oh.
I just got home. I fought a cougar and I just got home.
You
Nice.
fought a cougar?
I had to yell at a cougar.
I have to fight a
It wasn't
cougar
fair.
every time I go to the bar. Am I right, fellas?
I just imagine every
totally
time we like bring someone to the club, it's like, have you seen Nope when they get abducted?
I have
I
not seen.
haven't
I have not
seen
seen Nope.
Nope,
Don't
no.
spoil it. I want to watch it.
Oh god. Yeah, no, I was in the tent. You thought it was a bear. I heard a scream. I thought it was my mother. And I have to look outside the tent and there's like 2 eyes staring at me and it was a fucking cougar.
Jesus.
I know what it's like.
I had to take my battle jacket on my shoulders to make myself look bigger and I had to scream at it.
Most
like
wild
Jurassic
animals.
Park.
You
This
get
all
rid,
happened in BC.
get rid
This
of
all
most.
happened in
Get rid of most wild animals by yelling really loud. Then they go, "I don't want to go over there. There's too much noise."
Yeah. It scared the shit out of me.
Because like
I can imagine.
prey animals don't make a bunch of noise. Like they don't usually detect prey by hearing. So if you yell really loud, they just assume it's another predator, and they're like, "Oh shit, my bad. It's your place."
I simply exert
Yeah.
my pressure.
You exert your pressure. What
My
fucking
killing
pressure?
intent.
What do you mean? I have such pressure.
Damn,
I
last
just
time-
simply express my killing intent.
My killing intent.
Is that why Rocky's so scared all the time?
He is. He's constantly in my range.
The last
Oh,
time he felt your
okay,
killing
okay,
intent, he
okay.
was transformed into a dog.
No. I love the theory that Tadhoney is actually the soul of Rocky and they've just switched bodies.
Yeah.
I used New World Order to change his entire life.
Wait,
so
so-
it was always
No.
about.
So which one's the Tan
No.
Honey that I once knew? Is it Rocky or is it still you?
We're all Tanny.
No,
We
you're
don't
not.
know.
Shut up. You didn't even answer
We're
my
a gestalt
question.
consciousness.
I'm
Who
gonna
can-
grab
who
you
can
by
say?
the
Who
throat
can
and
say?
force you to yes and me one of these days.
You can't kill me in a way that matters.
Who can say? Who can say?
Anyway, we were reading a LAN article that never ends.
Wow.
Alright, do you want to give me like the link? I don't know where to get the link.
No, it's okay. You'll just have to listen.
No.
No?
No. You're just gonna
There
have
you
to
go.
listen
I'll
to
give
me.
you the link. I'll sneak
What
you
the
the link.
fuck, Dan?
What?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Father,
I have to find wherever the hell you guys are.
Father, what is it like to love? Terence did not say these words. The torment in his chest, the image of the Grand Archivist, a woman he had never met, but thought of at every quiet moment. He couldn't tell his
Parasocial.
father. With The archivist e-girl. Whether it was pride or stubbornness, or fear or shame, or all of them at once, it wasn't so easy. He had played through the conversation before. Terence would ask, and his father would look away, stand up, and sigh. And they would not speak of it again. Terence never had that conversation, and as one does, he turned that pain inwards. It was a mechanism operated by his hands, his legs, his body, and his mind. All seconds of all days. It ran through his sleep, and it colored his thoughts and dreams, and it had for his youth, and it would for his lifespan. To continue, unabated, until he received the news of his father's death, a lifetime and a day later. To Percival, the silence spoke a different set of words. I am leaving the glass house, Terence. His own father had done the same when he was old enough to inherit the family business. A young man abandoned in a glass cage, too afraid to break through in fear of the shards. He had lived in that house for 53 years, and it was too late for him to change it. For him, there in the moonlight pouring in through undrawn curtains, Percival kept a promise he had made to himself the day his son was born. You are to leave the glass house, Terence. It's time.
Don't throw stones in the glass house, though, Terence.
It's so long.
You'll hate that.
We have like 2 more big blocks, and then it's over, but
You want me to take one?
Yeah, do you want to take one of these blocks?
Yeah, I can take one. Hold on.
It's hearing Percival's words is where you're starting.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just like... Ooh. Hearing Percival's words, that he could actually leave the glass house, a realization which struck him as absurdly simple once he thought about it. And sadly, a process which neither his father nor any of the population had really acted upon. Terence decided to attend the overwhelming piles of contusionous study material in his home, do a bit of spring cleaning, so to speak. With the help of his father, he pried the door to his bedroom open and squeezed his slim frame in. The reverse brick layer, Terence passed the books through the crack of the door, and as the stacks shrunk,
you know who else could get through that thin crack? Pipeman.
We had the same thought.
I was about to say, if you make a short joke about me.
Is that a short joke?
It's not my fault. Built like a Tic Tac. Anyways, I need to find my place again. Okay. Percival himself could enter, sighing almost in awe. He gazed up upon the academic pigsty his son claimed was his bedroom, and got to work. Just like me, for real, for real. Percival hid his enjoyment of the process, encouraging Terence, when his will plummeted as he began to ask existential questions. Many sore knees later, they had managed to sort the books into piles based on quality in ascending order. The majority of the books in the discarded pile were taken by wheelbarrow through the glass gate and dumped over cliffside into the beach below. Terence considered it a horrific waste. Percival didn't consider it at all. Some of the tomes would be buried in the sand, only to be uncovered centuries later by a boy who would like to take walks on the beach. Some would be collected by book hunters to be smuggled and sold outside the library, and some would wash away to be reclaimed by the wordless tides and absorbed into the serpent herself, whose knowledge cannot be destroyed, only repurposed. Those that were so eagerly chucked off a cliff were given to neighbors, acquaintances, friends, or to Sylvana Silverwood, the local archivist. Over the past few months, she and Terence exchanged over 24 polite letters about his education, Kinsonianism, as an emerging science. I can't read.
It's okay.
And according to Silverwood, art form. And through Terence, he was never the first to bring it up. The logistics of constructing the Melanage private library as he so desperately required. Terence sent notice of his revisal after procrastinating over a week, rewriting and rephrasing just in case he admonished him for being a fake scholar, a waste of precious archivist time, an immature boy who couldn't handle real literature and deserved never to write again. Yet, as we know, anxiety is a poor sage, and the archivist soon wrote back that she was equally happy for a portion of the books to return to her hands, regardless of the immense effort she had put into requiring them in the first place. Silverwood was a woman who categorically lived by the benefit of the doubt, so he needn't have worried. In the months Terence had come to know her, Silverwood had not passed judgment once. Rather, she possessed an uncanny ability to view the world as it was, truly identify the merits and faults of a person or a situation that's turning clay in her hands. In 3 paragraphs, the archivist proposed a series of statements to stimulate Terence's mind, clearly and concisely. As he so liked it. First, he let the future happen as it wishes. Even the grand archivist scrying magic cannot prepare her for what is to come. Live now, and you will live well. Second, writing is not about writing. It is about life. The decision to leave may be uncomfortable. However, the work you will create by doing so will far surpass a life lived at home. Though do not forget that home. That is to say, write to your father when you can, and write to me if you want. I will always be there to listen. Last, curiosity is a virtue, she said, but all too often can veil a lack. It takes a lifetime to fill an empty library. Signed with hope, Archivist Silverwood.
So is this archivist, Tan, the same one that he was like obsessed with before? The grand archivist?
I believe so.
Nice. I mean, that's all good advice, by the way, personally. Like, live in the present.
My dyslexia kicked in so hard.
You're good. Like, live in the present. You have to, go out and live your life, leave home. You can't just sit in your room and be on the internet all day if you want to write, like, good stuff. And the third one, I'm not too sure on.
You need to see the world to write the world.
Exactly. You have to experience things. I'm objecting.
Oh, Guari one.
Guari, I'm objecting. No! One guest at a time, or it's too chaotic.
You want a fist fight, Guari?
I hate you, Tan. I hate Tan so much. Why does he fight me?
Sparkle on.
All right, Teeth. I must now boot you.
You mustn't.
One guest
you
at a
don't need
time.
to.
There's too
Why?
many.
Says who?
There's too many cooks in the kitchen.
There's not.
Tan only just wants more people, so he has to talk less, so he can nod off.
Wow.
Tan is the group owner, so I trust in Tan.
I just think it'll be funny if there are lots of people in the call.
Do you want me to leave or do you want me to go? Should I stay or should I go?
I don't care anymore.
No.
Tanoni will never have my back.
He says that like it was a long, protracted struggle. It was like 30 seconds.
Fought on every point. An earlier inferior description of the tenement household might have contained words like exceptionally large and empty, but such a description would be insufficient in comparison to the present day, as the house was now well and truly both. Devoid of books, rid of tomes, excised of volumes, it seemed all rooms were larger, and the furniture could finally be rearranged to Percival's liking. It was a new sensation for the tenements. Percival was not a reader, but he could read regardless of his thoughts on the matter. He would have abstained from assembling bookshelves into the walls if not for his wife, and despite her encouragement and his open-mindedness, Percival could never discover what was so interesting about stories that never happened and never would. Terence, on the other hand, saw his childhood home as if its beating heart had been removed in an extremely dangerous and, in retrospect, wholly unnecessary procedure. It was too late to do anything about it, and thus it was too late for regret. Unfortunately for Terence, the feeling was just coming into fashion, and would remain the dominant emotional paradigm among young men for some time. Plagued with a perpetual unease, Terence would return to the beach, walking the track through the gate, down the cliff steps, and out of the city. Send between his fingers, he thought of the enigmatic, unattainable idea. Someone who would understand him, someone who could point to his soul. They would know where it was instinctively, and be able to interpret the lights and colors, the kaleidoscope of experience and being that he surely was. So is this about a guy who reads a bunch and thinks he understands everything?
And then he touches grass?
Yes.
Yep.
That's the story, right?
Yeah, it kind of
From
is.
what I think.
Mm-hmm.
From what I think. It's like, I think like the lesson here is just like, you can't read about the world and everything about the world to know what the world is. You need to actually step outside and experience it. Even though that knowledge is good, you need to take risks. You need to see. You cannot read.
You need to touch grass.
Yep, you do.
You need to touch grass.
And be able to interpret blah, blah, blah. He looked out across the water, imagining what lay beyond the fog, and he knew he longed for her. But Because beyond those ocean waves was the library true. Terence thought of his father and how his attempts at comfort were unsuccessful. It wasn't his fault. He didn't have a writer's heart. He couldn't understand how he was feeling. He didn't know the security that came from stories, the confirmation that for a short while he could be safe in the pages of someone else. Eventually, Terence realized it was probably unwise to remain in a place where he was consistently reminded of what was lost. He packed the few books he still owned, hugged his father, and left the house without a word. He sat on the beach awaiting the boat that would take him away to the Great Hall East Library of the 12th Island. It didn't fucking matter. Above him, the Cromwells screeched messages to each other, diving in a ritual dance of paper. They would drop letters only for another identical Cromwell to pick it up and soar in the opposite direction. Silverwood would be able to tell them apart. She had once explained to him that the iridescent plumes under their contour feathers indicated their destination. They were magic creatures, far more intelligent than a normal bird. Or perhaps they weren't, she had said. Perhaps all they knew was to deliver messages and do their duty. They never stopped long enough for her to
Duty. Sorry.
That was an expertly placed comic... Never mind. Expertly placed comment.
Okay. You're gonna be okay.
I'm not gonna
Good
be
chat,
okay.
Chris. There's still hope.
I'm still
Dying.
viscerally upset. He watched
The steam coming out of his
steam
ears.
coming out of my... That's the noise.
We're having a party in the background.
Yeah, I'm the guy in the corners being bitchy and annoying. He watched the ways the Cromwell swooped low, hollowing the secret lives of wanderers. He listened to the sound of the waves lapping the shore, and he imagined more than he could ever put to words. Below that nexus of stories, Terence felt among infinity. When he was in education, Aurelius Palm had told them of his travels past the western ice fields, about books encased in glaciers, only to emerge when the time was right for them to be read. Daniel had tuned out after the first sentence, but Terence and Mercedes sat awestruck, looking up at their teacher's eyes, ablaze with the fire of exploration. In the same way, Silverwood had given him books on the many worlds outside of the library, accessed simply with the right combination of actions: a pinpricked finger and a fisherman's dance, the crossing of a lone threshold in the desert, a kiss planted on the cheek of a winged statue. How far did these combinations stretch? Even Silverwood couldn't know. They changed always, based on where and when and what and who. It was said that the Grand Archivist of Amelia had been given the Serpent's Blessing, a sixth wayward sense to see the combinations as easily as forks in a road. In tragic generosity, the story detailed that the Grand Archivist could not leave the library, only guide others to the elsewhere they desired. Terence was filled with a sudden passion to write, pulling out index card after index card, concision all but forgotten. Poetry or prose, fact or fiction, he scribbled everything, a replica of his mind on paper, and somehow along the way it became addressed to her. While he wrote, the dream was more real and genuine than anything his bloodline had ever experienced. He was certain. He could imagine the future as he wished it, full of hope and optimism he had never before felt. Terence wrote his letter on the beach of his childhood, surrounded by the life of the library. Days later, when he had calmed down, and with the help of Archivist Silverwood, Terence packaged it in a wonderful bow made of docent tears, and gently pushed it into a glass bottle with a cork top, to sail across the sea of words, be carried by the black current, and fruitfully arrive into her loving, erudite embrace. The following evening her reply was delivered. Cromwell, with a sombre expression, dropped onto his windowsill. Terence's hand shook as he opened the envelope, eyes widening at her gentle handwriting. The penmanship of a goddess. This guy is such a simp. Oh my god. It was as if she had invented the art of calligraphy simply for this letter. And yet he knew he wasn't special to receive such a reply.
It was like SpongeBob writing that for his essay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god.
Like, some of these.
For one, the first Grand Archivist, or Arch-Librarian as it was known at the time, had invented calligraphy whilst attempting to fuse the acts of painting and writing. Not her. And secondly, it was well known that the Grand Archivist could never fall in love, not because of a vow of celibacy or similar rite, but for the simple reason that it would cut into their reading time. Terence knew the position of a Grand or Chief Archivist was a social responsibility as much as a personal and lifelong project. This, as is evident, requires a great deal of time, copious amounts of scheduling, and a preternatural disposition for patience. In addition, one cannot simply charm a sorceress into true love, as be charmed by one, nor could the 7 words possibly make a difference to the millions she had undoubtedly consumed in her lifetime. Nonetheless, Terence had worked for years for this opportunity, slaving away in the forges of the written word, intricately converting the mysteries of emotion and experience into concrete, tangible verbiage. as a soothsayer interprets cards or tea leaves or bone to divine the future, all under the ruthlessly taciturn Aurelius Palm, man of few words that he is. And now, ironically or perhaps poetically, depending on your stance on the matter, he had finally received an offensively verbose letter, bearing news he had once thought impossible. The opportunity to witness the nigh divine majesty of the woman of his literary dreams face to face in the preeminent chambers of the current Grand Archivist, where he would hopefully, and despite his apprehension, he had full confidence in his ability to charm at least in the audience of a fellow book lover, hopefully enter with but trepidation, and leave with the fire of requited love in his heart, and the ecstatic, all-fulfilling joy of the servant, upon escaping the depths of ignorance, bless her name. Terence dropped the unfinished letter and curled his face into his hands. If only... End of part 1?! That's just part 1?!
Yay! And then welcome to Lana's writing.
I'm curious as to where
this was all prose. Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Teeth. What did you say?
Oh, no, I'm curious as where this is going to go. If this is just the end of part 1. I very much enjoyed this. I love the library. I love learning about the library, and I like that there are things about the library in here that, like, I know, even though I haven't dug too much deep into it. And it's very neat. It's nice world building.
Yeah, I agree. I think the prose is really good. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed watching Terrence's journey into becoming a human being and getting rid of all his books.
I like the prose as well, very playful.
Yeah, very fun.
Sort of like a Pratchett sort of sense I got from it.
That's exactly the word I was looking for. I'll tell you this. We read a lot of long articles and I get bored or I zone out. That did not happen with this. Because it felt kind of like a stream of consciousness, but almost like a conversation he was having with us, the reader. And I really enjoyed it. It's super engaging, and I wish a lot more writing was like that. Because it would make it easier to read long shit like this. That being said, though, I don't know how many more articles we'll be able to squeeze in, but do you have any crit for this other than that singular grammar mistake?
Me?
Yeah. I don't have anything to add. I'm not a good enough writer to have anything to add to this.
I liked it. It's pretty fully put together. It's difficult to find somewhere to change or improve stuff.
I know, right?
Exactly.
It's crazy that Land's 18, 19, and he's already blowing my shit out of the water. Giving Tan a run for his money.
It is fucking crazy.
I keep forgetting that Land is near my age.
I think if Land keeps honing his craft, he could easily get published, I think.
Oh,
he's
definitely.
Brilliant. That could literally get published now if he set his mind to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, he's a very...
I don't have much...
I don't want to see... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I don't have much to say on this, besides I very much enjoyed it, and I love the library so much. Mm-hmm. But it flows very smoothly, mm-hmm. And it's just it feels less like a draft, and that this is already posted.
I feel like he has a tremendous amount of skill that he's built up through the Wanderers Library and SEP and engaging with writers, and I feel like he learns things and he takes them and he applies them at such a rate that he is already, I would say, probably ahead of me, and I think on his way to getting ahead of Tanahony and many other big writers in the community if he keeps up. If he keeps improving at the rate he's going, he's going to be a fucking star, and I'm really happy and excited to see where he goes.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Lang is probably the best writer in the DSCP community.
It's literally just a shame that only 4 people read the Wanderers Library.
Surprisingly, the number has increased a lot in the last 2 years.
It's still.
Yeah. I need to read more Wanderers Library, seeing as I have 2 things posted there already. But it's so good. It's so underrated. There's some of my favorite things are there, and it's just Land's work is immaculate.
If you want to read the Invader's work, that's literally the best writing I have seen on the internet.
I love Dimbador.
Good.
Yeah, no, I've read. I read a little.
You should read a lot.
I read a lot. I'm
I don't believe you.
Josh. But yeah, mostly all I have to say is this feels less like a draft, and it feels like it's already been published and should be uploaded to high hell.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Is
I'm
it
shaking
not
my
already
fist.
uploaded? It looks like it's on the Wanderers. Oh no, it's on a sandbox. You're right.
It does. Yeah, it's on a sandbox. So it looks like it could just be posted now as is. Besides, like that one spelling mistake I think I heard about, and just like it's already so fleshed together and perfect for being a draft.
Stream to help people with the writing and give critique. Spend majority of the stream reading an article that's so good. There's literally one grammar thing to correct. Oh,
yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone read Heaven's Bane by Land. That is not the purpose of the stream, Crocat.
Buckle off.
Yeah, I agree with Crocat. That's like my second most favorite article on the Wanderers library.
Tan, why did you type John? Why are you typing in the chat?
Well, I said test, so I said Johnny.
Oh, why did you say I'm not selfish like you were me?
Because I wanted to cause chaos.
Why are you?
It's your favorite activity, isn't it?
To be fair, that was like half an hour ago.
Okay, so what's next? We have wiki.com/narrator. Ooh, fancy CSS. Okay.
Oh, looks like we got a bit of a tech quiz.
Oh, tech quiz.
Oh, well done.
What voice is that? Sounds familiar, like it's supposed to be something.
I think it's from the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, maybe.
The broom closet ending is my favourite.
I never played the Stanley Parable. I always thought it was like a Redditor game.
There's a little bit, but it's fun as well.
Yeah, I believe you. I think it's just I didn't encounter it till it was like after its time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's so fucking sad.
If I had, I assume it feels like it was the Undertale of its time, if that makes sense.
I know what you mean.
All right, so we have an article to read. Oh my god, is that you, Tan? Are you researcher Alexander Law?
No, I don't look anything like that.
You look exactly like that.
I don't look anything like that.
Well, I guess you can only disprove that by posting a picture of yourself.
No, I'm not posting the fucking pizza picture. There's one image of me that exists.
I actually saw a second one on Facebook, and it's worse than the pizza one.
I'm not photogenic. They all look bad.
He's telling the audience, not you guys. Orchid loves it. Gotcha. All right. You have to read this, Tan. I'm tired.
Okay. Oh. Level 2 restricted. Containment class, you sell it. Disruption class, Drake. Risk class, Courtian. Special containment procedures. Researcher Alexander Long. Pipeman. Should remain inside what
if he was actually Ballman? You'd feel like such an idiot right now.
I'm so fucking stupid. Only being permitted to exit Foundation property when proper authority is given by level 5 personnel. That's pretty high personnel. If another incident similar to one that occurred in Addendum .2 happens, Alexander Long is given anesthesia and placed in a padded cell. With a picture of him here. It doesn't look like me. Description. The SCP is a designation for an anomaly affecting researcher Alexander Long. The SCP is a voice that continuously describes, in detail, what Alexander Long is doing before that action is being carried out. Excuse me, 1 moment.
Yeah, are you okay? Your mic's all fucked. Oh my god, he's muted. He's muted. So now it's just me and
shit!
guests,
Oh no!
Plural.
Back.
Welcome back.
Return of the King.
The SCP is a voice that continuously describes, in detail, what Alexander Long is doing before the action is being carried out. The sound of the SCP comes from approximately 1 meter above the head of Alexander, suggesting it may be a separate entity from him. And not only an auditory anomaly, it's like in Gmod when the speech bubble appears above the head when the voice chatting. It's unknown if the SCP is sapient or if Alexander is forced to do it. It says, I think that's meant to be crossed out, but it doesn't seem to have quite worked. The SCP first manifested on October 17th, 5 days after my birthday, 2018, during a site-wide containment breach, while researcher Alexander Long was hiding in his office. Due to the nature of his research, he was permitted to continue working at Site 104. Addendum 1. I don't know what the fuck
Wait,
that
so
noise I made.
hold on. It just occurred to me. Is this like the Stanley Parable article? It's a voice
Kind
inside
of,
his head
actually.
that describes what he's doing.
Oh.
Is that
Stanley Alexander went to eat a donut, but he fell over and died.
Let's do teamwork because I'm nice.
Died it.
I'll do the date and context if you do the phrases in that voice.
Sure.
614.
I'll do it in my Stanley Parable voice.
6/14/2018. Researcher Alexander is eating food in the Site 104 staff room.
Alex takes another forkful of salad and sticks it into his mouth. He's very tired from working so hard as research. It is the only reason he's still here anyway.
8/12/2018. Researcher Alexander is in the Site laundry room.
Alexander sticks a stack of his dirty clothing in the washer. He's never been too hygienic, but this was considered clean to him. Silently. No wonder he's so lonely.
God damn!
What?
Oh, that was so cruel. Poor guy.
Vicious.
I thought you were angry at me. Like, why did you say it so quietly?
No. I meant poor Alexander. Could you imagine if you had a hater at all times around? Man.
I would die.
I actually can't.
I
do have a hater.
I already have a hater at all times. It is me.
I have a hater at all times. It's me and also Tanhoney. 11/09/2018. Researcher Alexander Long is talking to a coworker, Dr. Avery. It's Avocado.
Alex slowly walks away from Avery before tripping and hitting himself on the head.
1/24/2019. At the Site 104 Christmas party, researcher Alexander Long is about to exit.
Alex finally exits the dull party, thinking, the food was so bland and the festivities were garbage, to himself, as he steps outside.
No! You have to read the footnote.
No.
Several people, including the party organizer, overheard the SCP say this.
6/28/2019. Researcher Alexander Long is working in his office on his laptop.
Alex randomly gets up from his chair and takes a quick look around his office. He then decides to restart his entire paper because it's terrible and he sucks at his job.
09/03/2019. Researcher Alexander Long is seen exiting the bathroom, notably missing a shoe on his left foot. Footnote. When asked why researcher Alexander Long said he had stepped in excrement earlier in the day because of SCP-XXX's narration. Wait, so does it narrate what he does, or does he have to follow the narration?
I think it's becoming ambiguous.
Yeah, I think it is like both.
Gotcha.
Alex waddles out of the washroom, quick on his feet, because he doesn't want anyone to hear me say any bad things about him. His shoulder skims the doorframe of his office, and he stubs a toe on the foot he isn't wearing shoes on.
3/30/2019. Researcher Alexander Long is seen in his office wearing a mask. This was during the COVID-19 pandemic. Wait, what?
Alex
2019?
Yeah.
What?
Wait.
Wait,
Hold
yeah.
on. Also,
it should be like
the last
2020.
one was... I think it was meant to be 2020. Yeah, it's just an edit.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because the last one was in September, based on how they've been doing date-time format, and then this one's in March, so I think it meant to be 2020.
Alex is tired, so tired that he can't even get up from his seat. He notices his mask is broken. The mask breaks as I'm saying this. At the same time, noticing that he's hungry, he decides to take a bite out of his mask and swallow. Shortly after this, researcher Alexander Long vomits.
So this is literally Stanley Parable, the article, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not crazy. I didn't want to be like, oh, this is just like this thing.
It wouldn't matter if Darnell was crazy. I am not crazy.
Like, because I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is just a copy of what, but I feel like this is very clearly supposed to be a reference to that, especially based on what I'm seeing in this log. Speaking of,
I think it is.
Event log. The following is. Make sure to change that. Is a log of an incident that transpired in Site 104's break room on August 7th, 2021. Begin log 4:13 p.m. Researcher Alexander Long enters the Site 104 break room.
Alex heads towards the kitchen and pours himself a cup of coffee after his long day of work. He's gotten used to working overtime for the SCP Foundation and doesn't even care anymore. He just wants to relax, so I know that feeling, Alex, my guy.
Alexander Long walks toward the kitchen counter.
Oh, the narrators are there.
Visibly tired, and picks up the coffee decanter and a mug and begins to pour before stopping midway.
Alex finishes pouring his cup, then he stops pouring midway for no reason whatsoever, and sits down in the tacky black leather armchair in the corner of the room.
Alexander Long remains unmoving.
Huh? I said that you sit down in that chair and drink your coffee.
Alexander Long remains unmoving.
No.
SCP-XXX scoffs.
No. Did you not hear me, you little scoffs?
I said no.
funny. Just go sit down, Alex.
Alexander Long remains unmoving.
I don't have time for this. Sit down.
I can't fucking do this anymore. Fuck this! Alexander Long smashes the mug on the floor, injuring himself in the process. Both researcher Alexander Long and the SCP remain silent for some time, before he drops to his knees on the floor and begins to cry. The SCP sighs.
Ugh, I don't get paid enough for this. Wow, Alex, I bet you're feeling so proud of yourself for finally refusing to listen to me. I guess I have to leave now.
I'm so sorry, I got lost for a second. Oh, please, for the love of God, please just leave me alone.
Do you really think I'm stupid?
Alexander Long jolts his head up and whimpers while crawling back before hitting his back on the kitchen counter. He begins to get lifted into the air. He thrashes and screams while being lifted up.
I gave you another chance, but you threw that right out the window. Your loss. How about this? Alex gets thrown across the room and hits the wall, breaking many of his bones.
Alexander Long gets thrown across the room and hits the wall. Bruises are seen all over his face.
Alex gets up and slams himself onto the wall head first, hurting himself further.
Please! Alexander Long stands up before running into the wall. His nose begins to bleed.
Alex picks up a shard of the mug he threw down and stabs himself in the left arm.
Oh, no.
Wait.
Alexander Long begins to walk towards the break room's kitchen. The blood from his nose drips onto his shirt. Please! Alexander Long quickly turns around and begins to limp towards the door before collapsing.
You really thought you had it in you? Alex gets back up and picks up a mug shard and stabs himself in the stomach without resisting.
Alexander Long struggles to stand back up before turning back around towards the kitchen. His limbs are visibly limp. He walks slowly towards the kitchen before stopping in front of a mug piece. The SCP is heard giggling. Alexander Long bends down to pick the piece up and lifts it in front of his face. His arms are visibly shaking. His eyes are tearing up. Alexander Long impales himself in the stomach with the mug piece, twisting it afterward. In a few moments, his shirt is covered in blood. Alexander Long shortly collapses onto the floor. End log. Afterward, Alexander Long was rushed to the Site 104 infirmary. He had suffered numerous broken and fractured bones, as well as a concussion. Alexander Long survived the incident, and no other similar incidents have occurred.
Darnell leaned back in his seat, thinking about the article he'd just read.
No.
Darnell fucking exploded. That's the end of Darnell, I'm afraid. I thought that was good. I liked a little sinister twist at the end.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's a simple concept. It's very well done.
I liked it a lot. No notes other than that, like, two
My
spelling
notes.
things. That was it.
People can't say stuff silently. That's my note.
Yeah, they mean
They thought to himself, maybe. There was also a couple spelling things that I think we picked up as they came out, but otherwise, I liked it. Who was the spy? Let me check.
I liked it as well.
I liked it.
This was by Avocado Milk, who was in the chat earlier, at least. I don't know if they're still here.
Are they? I don't know.
Nicely done, Avocado. Oh wow,
It's
they've
very
actually
nice.
been
I like
working on this for a very long time, since like last year.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's been tweaked. Very, very
Maybe
nice.
it's like I think it's like the only sandbox they use, or
Maybe.
or no.
That could be it too, yeah. Maybe it's just they've reused this page over and over.
Yeah.
Because it started in like September of 2022, and it's a pretty short article. Very good job. I would post this. I would do the edits we mentioned real quick and then just post it straight up.
Yeah.
All right, we're only 2 hours in. We promised 3, but I feel so exhausted mentally.
Maybe
Don't
one
worry,
more.
we'll take over the reading.
No.
Tis and I.
Is there another short one?
Let's see.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
there
take
is-
over reading. I can try.
Yeah, we can do that.
No, this
Darnell, I grabbed
Okay, if we go one more, we're halfway through Darnell.
Yeah.
So it's a good stopping point, I
The
think.
next one's Guaran.
Oh, see, this is mine.
Actually, Guaran is super short, so we might be able to do one after it.
I'm actually going to leave. Bye.
All right. No, oh, now he fucking goes. I say
So
only
he
one
wants to
guest
get
at
a
a
replacement.
time. I say only one guest at a time. I don't want to get overstimulated. Now he goes because he doesn't want to hear his own article read. This is like when
Only
I
I
read Blood
rem-
Drive and Tan was in the call. You remember that, Tan?
I do.
Yeah. What is with authors and being insecure about their own writing? I love when people read my stuff. It gives me the ultimate high.
Well, I kind of understand, honestly.
The greatest high.
The greatest high!
Like, when they read Agnostia on, like, the other, like, I think the SCP Reading Club one, like, that completely baffled me, because I was just, like, sitting there, like, oh no. The entire time.
Roxy in the chat says, I'm floorboards. My draft, You're Worth It, I Promise, is pretty long. So yeah, let's do the Guari one, and then we can start with that one next time. Alright, let's do that.
Yep.
I'd recommend just doing it. We can't do it tomorrow because that's Monday, but we will do it next week is when we'll pick back up. Probably a little bit earlier in the day as well. Maybe 10 a.m. CDT, 4 p.m. Tanny time.
That'll work.
That'll work for me too, probably. Next week, yeah. Okay, cool. Giant enemy crab! I love giant enemy crabs! This better be good. Also, Guari is living in 2040 because everyone should be using SCP-X or SCP-XX instead of 4X's, because you only have to look up that, like, XX. Like, you can save yourself time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a speedrun strats. Item number. Oh, wait, no, this is your read, Tan, right?
Okay. Item number, SCP-XX. Object class, safe. Special containment procedures. The SCP cannot be transported wholly to any given Foundation facility given its large enemy size. As a result, containment efforts are focused on preventing civilians and scientific access to the area where the anomaly lies.
So I wanted to say this should be on, not
Civilian
in.
should be without the S there, I think.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to say this should be on, not in, but maybe in works better. What do you think?
I would say on, definitely.
Yeah, preventing civilian and scientific access. Yes.
Material from the SC... Sorry.
No, I was just going to confirm. On civilian. So first crits. Keep going.
Yeah. Material from the SCP should be shipped regularly towards Research Site 45. The site should be capitalized there. Stock should be kept at near maximum capacity at all times. Description. The SCP was a large-scale aggressor, resembling a decapodal crustacean.
Wait, Is this a neutralized?
Maybe. The SCP is believed to have originally stood at 130 meters in height and 500 meters in length, reaching an approximate mass of a few thousand metric tons, though its current state makes estimation unable to be verified. It is believed that the SCP has extra-dimensional origins, from an alternate reality or a portion of reality, where a different set of physical laws allowed it to reach its gigantic size. The SCP manifested into baseline reality on the 3rd of November 1954 on a Kerguelen oceanic plateau. Prior to its appearance, optokinetic fluctuations, I'd probably make this a separate sentence from prior onwards.
Turn this a period, and then prior, yep.
Optokinetic fluctuations had warned Foundation systems of baseline reality becoming unstable in the area, prompting the dispatchment of a research task force into the area. It went on to record the arrival of the SCP and the events following it. Immediately after its manifestation to baseline reality, the SCP began moving east in direction towards Australia. A few seconds following the start of its movement, it stopped, presumably having spent all the energy of its body in those initial few movements. At the same time this took place, cellular metabolism from the SCP's interior began to drastically increase its internal temperature, becoming hot enough for the surrounding water to become noticeably warmer, and steam beginning to originate out of the anomalies' body. It pissed.
Nice.
No. Foul.
Nice.
Roughly 4 seconds after the initial appearance of the SCP, its appendages began to falter as a result of both oceanic pressure and the anomaly's mass. Its body unable to support its own weight, the SCP fell onto the seafloor, greatly damaging both it and the anomaly.
So wait, some anomaly... Hold on. So it's
The
an
crab's
anomaly
too
that
big to stay alive.
It manifested inside a crab, and the crab became too big and crushed itself. Right?
No.
I think you just saw a big crab appeared.
Okay, never mind. Continue.
And then it crushed itself.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because it followed a different set of physics.
It's a joke on like the giant enemy crab trope is like because the crab could not, like most things can't get that big because they can't support their own weight because of gravity and they crush themselves.
The mass of the SCP's meat was likewise too great, flattening its internal organs, most notably the heart and gills. While most of the SCP's shell was thick enough to initially resist all internal-external pressure the anomaly suffered, that was not the case with the remaining limbs, which cracked like in the boiling hot seawater into the anomaly's open wounds and bloodstream.
Shouldn't this be neutralized then, or like dead for the object?
Well, that's what gives it away. If it's for the sake of the funny surprise, I'm willing to let it go.
Fair enough.
Finally, around the 10 seconds mark, the anomaly's internal temperature reached a temperature such that it exploded, scattering many large portions of biological matter throughout the entirety of the Kerguelen Plateau, losing roughly 65% of its biomass in this event. Prior to this final event, personnel of the Research Task Force had reported hearing the anomaly screaming in pain. This was likely a result of highly pressurized steam creaking out of the SCP at high speed, and should not be under any circumstance interpreted as the SCP being in possession of advanced cognition and ability to have emotions.
You want to change that N to an M.
Yeah. The exact circumstances that led to the appearance of the SCP became the result of Foundation research the years following the initial events. Many important advancements in interdimensional technology taking place as a result of it. I'd make that part of the same sentence if you're going to do it that way.
Also, should interdimensional have the hyphen? I'm not sure. I usually see it without it.
I think you can work either way.
Okay.
It's not neutralized because there's still an anomaly to cover up, Quaker says.
Because it's still like a giant body.
Yeah.
A method believed to be able to replicate the exact events that led to the SCP's manifestation has been discovered. It's expected that Foundation facilities' seafood budget will lower significantly.
Can I say between this and the one that's like removing organs, I've noticed there's sort of a biology bend to some Gwari articles, and I kind of love it. As someone who was once like studying biology and was into that, I enjoy it. I like this one a lot. There's some typos, a few things you can restructure sentence-wise that we went over, but by and large, I think this is a nice, fun, short article. And once you correct that like grammar, spelling stuff, it's probably just good to post, I think. Thoughts, Tan?
I probably agree. There's a couple of words that I think you repeat a little bit there, so you can maybe like have a look at changing those just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I can't comment on like spelling or actual grammar, but I can comment on like repetitiveness. And there was a few words that were a bit too much.
Can you guys describe some of those words for him for reference so he has them?
Events I noticed is one. Events get used a lot. Sometimes in the same sentence.
I think one was circumstance.
Time and date for next stream will be 10 a.m. CDT, 4 p.m. British time on next Sunday. As what we're set to currently, but we'll post an announcement if it has to change. And that's just because my niece's birthday is next Sunday at like 3 p.m. my time, so I can't afford to go too late.
Well, I hope she has a happy birthday.
I hope she does too.
I wish her a happy birthday as well, Darnell.
I'm like her favorite family member somehow. It's an enormous badge of pride I wear. So I have to always get the coolest present. But I'm really nervous about this one. Because it's like, she has so much and so many people buy for her, right? Anyway, this is not important. Sorry. I got lost in the sauce. Thank you, yes. All right, so are we closing it out here?
I feel like it's probably best we do.
Ooh, I feel like I just ran a marathon. Remember when we used to do 3-hour podcast episodes?
We used to be so gods. We were strong then.
We were so strong in the pandemic when we didn't have to work and got free money, and we're happy, and now we're just tired all the time.
We were not happy. It was a fucking global pandemic. There's a nostalgia. It's doing its dark work upon you.
I was happy. I still have yet to get COVID. I'm good.
I think I probably had it.
I got COVID for a day, and then I was like in pain.
And you adapted.
And then I was up again the next day, completely fine.
Did you all three?
I died.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good.
Gwari asked,
I thought it was funny, Gwari.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. I liked it. It was nice, short, sweet.
Good stuff. All right.
It makes me crave crab now.
Yeah, I could go for crab. Actually, what I really want, if I wasn't trying to be good right now, is like a ramen bowl. Is what I really want. Like beef and ramen eggs, and broth, and soy sauce.
So bad right now.
And thick noodles.
You are tempting me. You are tempting me.
Went to get it twice and I failed to. I haven't had the vaccine. I haven't had COVID. Yeah, that's because people who don't have COVID don't go out a lot, which is me. I stay in my hole most of the time. I've been out to like a couple things, but like not till way after. My one activity a week is on like Saturdays. I go see my friends and we like cook a meal together, watch a movie, play Smash Brothers, and then we're like we're good for the week. That's everything. All right, so closing
Sometimes
it off.
that is really.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Teeth. What were you saying?
Oh, I was about to say sometimes that's really just all you need.
Exactly, that's all you need in life.
That's all you do.
Every 3 months, Tan goes and gets drunk with his friends and then is on the internet. That's his event. How you feeling, Tan?
Mm-hmm.
He's gone. He's so gone. All right. Thank you guys.
I'm in the void. I'm floating in the void.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
My ancestors are all around me.
I ended the stream. You're safe.
Oh.